Oh my god. Look at it. A proper menu.
Yeah.
Oh.
And alright, do you want me to stream it directly on Discord for you, or are you fine
Yeah.
with?
That way I can take over some of the reading at least.
Is it visible? Fine.
Yeah, it's visible just fine.
Alright. Because well, here is now all the saves for like everything,
Yeah, yeah.
and I
That's the full completion save file. It's great. uh, wait, that means we might be able to fucking choose our fucking path. We might be able to just go into Unlimited Blade Works immediately. Oh, that would be so much nicer.
what do you mean they immediately go into it?
So technically, with how Rialta Nua works, you are not allowed to go into uh, other paths than Fate until you clear Fate.
Hmm.
We will see once we get to day 3 if the option to switch paths is there. If it is, we can just pivot to the good path. That's a lie. All of the paths are good in their own way. It's just I am biased. I like
Oh,
Archer, and that one interacts with Archer the most.
let's see if I can close things down to stop the roboting of the. We'll see how that goes. Because I believe we stopped right after, right after the fight ended and they got home.
Yeah, pretty much. I entered the house without saying anything and sit on the sofa. Archer isn't back yet. I sigh and listen to the clock for a few minutes.
いい加減頭を切り替えなくちゃ。
Are you hearing like the music and the voices too?
Yeah, music not really, but voices yes.
Yeah, it's because I had the music really loud because the menu music was just so loud.
It's funny how on the Discord preview it keeps switching between being in top left corner and being full screen. It's really funny.
あれだけの戦いを経験しておいて何ほうけてるんだ私。
I jump up and brew some tea. There are so many things to think about. Most importantly, the servants. I have just witnessed a battle between servants I had previously only understood intellectually.
ランサーか。
I panicked when
宝具を
he
使わ
almost
れそ
used
うに
his
なった
noble
時は
phantasm.
焦ったけど、
Oh wait, she's just saying all of
実際
this.
使ってたら
Thank God.
正体は分かったのよね。
The easiest way to beat an enemy servant is to learn their identity. Ignoring for the moment the idiot who doesn't even know his own identity, the biggest weak point of a servant is their true name.
Wow. I mean, she's right about Archer, but damn. But that does also mean that they have the biggest advantage of not even he knows who he is.
Oh, well, he doesn't get the advantage of. So you need to know your own true name to have access to most of your power. That's the issue here.
Oh,
So
okay.
he doesn't, but it can't be used against him. Discovering the servant's true name, in other words, figuring out their identity, let you take a guess at what kind of noble phantasm they might have. It goes without saying, but since servants are heroic spirits, they have legend associated with them. If you figure out their legends, you should be able to find out most of their abilities. Servants are called by their class names because they want to hide their true names. Because the more famous a hero is, the more people know about their weapons and their weaknesses. A heroic spirit that becomes a servant never gives out their true identity. The only ones that know the servants' identities are the masters. There's even a tactic surrounding that the masters hide their servants' identities while trying to discover the identities of the others. This is the 5th Holy Grail War.
Wait, the Holy Grail Wars is once per 100 years?
More often.
Oh, okay.
More like 20? 10? 10, 20? 10 years? I think once every 10 years or so. It depends. Actually, yeah, it varies a lot. The 4th one was 10, 12 years ago. The qualities of the servants are determined by the ranks of the summoned heroic spirits. It goes without saying that the more famous heroes and the heroes with better weapons are stronger. But it's difficult to summon such heroic spirits. To summon a heroic spirit, one must have a connection with them, such as a weapon they used during their lives. Even the Magic Association has a few of such things. So generally, one will summon a heroic spirit that suits them, like I did. A servant's strength is determined by the rank of the heroic spirit. But it's not that simple, as even the most powerful heroic spirits may have a hard time depending on the class they are assigned to. That is because of the special abilities assigned to each class, the possibility of the weak defeating the strong. The 7 classes each have different additional ability, and one even has a chance of defeating an opponent of higher rank depending on the ability's affinity. To take an example, an infamous hero has defeated a great hero 4 times in the past. As far as I know, the most powerful servant is Saber. In all the previous 4 wars, Saber has made it to the final fight.
I was about to ask, yeah, what qualifies Saber to be the most powerful, and then okay, it won every time. Okay, got it.
Well, at least made it to the final.
Okay.
It is said that 3 classes, Saber, Lancer, and Archer, have strong magic resistance. To put it simply, magic is pretty much useless against them. It's because they are fighters who fought through the Age of Myths when magics were used widely. Magics that Magi use now would probably dissipate just by touching them. Anyways, that's why the 3 classes are considered the basics and the best. Another that's worthy of mention is the Servant Berserker. The heroic spirit summoned into this class loses their sanity. Just as the name implies, they become a mad warrior puppet of their master. The benefit from this is a strengthening of their power, far exceeding the powers that they had when alive. However, the more powerful a servant becomes, the greater the burden it imposes on the master.
Oh shit! Hold on. I actually want to do one thing before we do.
Sure.
There, you can check the stream what I did.
What you did? I just see the thing full screen. Sunday book club with Candy and certified forklift driver. There you go. You can chroma key the white probably.
Oh yeah. Filters. Go custom. Up that. Yeah, that. Fuck it. I'll play with this another time. That's good for now. Anyway, let's move on.
In the past, masters who summoned Berserker couldn't control their rampaging servants and destroyed themselves by running out of magical energy. Oh, that actually looks good. Like, it's semi-transparent, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually blends in nicely and is just a nice nod.
Yeah.
No exceptions. The winners and the losers of the Holy Grail War are largely determined by the abilities of the servants. Well, I expect that there are ways to win it by the master's efforts, but it is basically a fight between the servants. That is why a master should be very careful when summoning a servant.
So masters can actually at least influence what they summon.
Yes, as it was said before, depending on the items that you have while summoning and etc., it will help you. I suddenly consider the plans we should make from now on. The clock, fixed already, strikes 11 while I do so, and Archer comes home.
おかえりなさい。成果はどう？
すまない。失敗した。よほど用心深いマスターだったのだろう。少なくとも、こちら側の町にはランサーのマスターはいなかった。
As I expected. God, his voice is nice. Lancer was alone, and it seems his master isn't the type to show up for battles personally.
そう。まあ、簡単にはいかないわよね。
Yes, there's no way everything will go as I might hope. So it can be helped. Let's consider what happened tonight as a tuition fee for the lessons learned.
覇気がないな、マスター。いつもの威勢はどうした？まさか、先の一戦でおじけづいた。というのはなしだぞ。君が命じるのなら、今すぐにでもランサーとの再戦に赴いてもいい。
Archer protests silently that we should do so.
Yeah, of course it does.
I see. I guess I look depressed.
そんなわけないでしょ。私が打って出ないのはね、単に無駄手間をしたくないだけなんだから。
無駄手間をしたくない？
だってまだマスターの数が揃ってないでしょ。今夜のはやむなしだったけど、開戦の合図があるまで戦わないわ。それが聖杯戦争のルールだって父さんは言ってたし。
So they broke one of the rules here?
Exactly.
そうか。君の父親もマスターだったのか。
Archer nods, understanding. Then, Archer makes a troubled face and starts to ponder something.
何よ。何か言いたいことでもあるのあんた。
ああ、一つ聞き忘れていた。リン。君は幼い頃からマスターになるべく育てられ、それに従ってきたのだろう。つまり
当たり前じゃない。そりゃいきなりマスターに任命される魔術師もいるそうだけど、私は別よ。遠坂の人間にとって聖杯戦争は何代も前からの悲願なんだから。
そうだろう。なら目的が塔にあるはずだ。私はそれを聞き忘れていた。主の望みを知らなければ私も剣を預けられない。リン、それで君の願いは何だ？
That is a good question. What is her wish? What does she want to get out of this?
願い？そんなの別にないけど。
What the? I was half expecting her to be like bring back my father or something like that, but
何？
that's high profile.
Simpler. Listen, when he has eyes open, it's not as bad. When he's like squinting, it's horrifying. Oh, Archer's making a funny face.
そんなはずはあるまい。聖杯とは願いを叶える万能の杯だ。マスターになるということは聖杯を手に入れるということだというのに、叶える願いがないとはどういうことだ？
I like this paint in the background here. Just this random ass ancestor dude.
Archer is asking with a serious expression. Oh, I see. The master's wish after obtaining the Holy Grail isn't irrelevant to the servant. But it's strange. Father said that servants have wishes as well, but that is only their wish. I don't think Archer should be concerned because I don't have any wishes.
よし、明確な望みがないのであれば、漠然とした願いはどうだ。例えば、世界を手にするといった風な。
Ruling the world takes is a lot of work though.
なんで？世界なんてとっくに私のものじゃない。
Oh, well, there we go.
あのね、アーチャー。世界ってのはつまり自分を中心とした価値観でしょ？そんなものは生まれた時から私のものよ。そんな世界を支配しろって言うんなら、私はとっくに世界を支配している。
It's a good
Ooh.
life approach, to be honest.
Yeah. That. High profile or open eyes.
Archer looks at me with a troubled expression.
How about you stop?
I'm amazed. The guy really is hard-headed.
バカな。聖杯とは望みを叶える力。現実の世界を手にできる力だぞ。それを求めるというのに、何も望まないというのか、君。
だって世界征服もめんどくさいし、そんな無駄なことを願っても仕方がないでしょ？あなた、割と想像力が貧困ね。
See? That's what I said. Ruling the world would be too much work.
理解に苦しむな。それでは、何のために戦う？
そこに戦いがあるからよ、ハーチャ。ついでにもらえるものはもらっておく。聖杯がなんだかは知らないけど、いずれ欲しいものができたら使えばいいだけでしょ？人間生きていれば欲しいものなんて限りないんだし。
つまり君は。
ええ。ただ勝つために戦うの、あっちゃ。
Might be unique in that aspect among the masters. Along with the main character who's probably unique because hey, I just got dragged into this mess. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Archer's shoulders slump. Maybe he's disappointed in my opinions, but it seems he's finally relaxed.
まいった。確かに君は私のマスターにふさわしい。
Ugh. I find it hard to deal with that kind of comment, so I wish he'd stop saying such things.
サーバントにマスターを選ぶ権利はないけど、一応聞いとく。なんで私があなたのマスターにふさわしいのよ。
言うまでもない。君は間違いなく最強のマスターだ。使える相手としてこれ以上のものはない。
そう、ありがとう。あなたに言われるなら世辞ってわけじゃなさそうだし。
Yeah, because he's the sarcastic bastard who's sarcastic like 99% of the time.
No. It's he says it matter of factly. It's not a compliment. It's not sucking up. It's stating a fact.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. The 1% is like 1%. He's actually just fucking stating the facts of being honest or anything like that. The other 99% time, sarcastic comments all around. Oh, he.
I look away because I'm embarrassed. I find it hard to deal with Archer because he speaks frankly like this, even though he's so cynical. Hey, look, as we said. But well, I'm honestly happy that he trusts me.
Yay! After like what, 1.5 day?
I trust Archer and he trusts me. I don't think this sense of solidarity is a bad thing.
I mean, yeah, the last thing you want is a servant to stab you in the back.
さて、ならば一息入れようか。7人目のマスターが現れるにせよ。それは今すぐというわけでも。ちょっと待て、リン。君、あの飾りはどうした？
飾りってペンダントのこと？はあ、あれなら忘れてきちゃった。 もう何の力もないものだし、別に必要ないでしょ。
それはそうだが、君がそう言うならいいが。
ええ、父さんの形見だけど、別に思い出はあれだけってわけじゃない。
よくはない。そこまで強くあることはないだろう、リン。
So saying, Archer takes out the pendant I left at school.
拾いに行ってくれたんだ、アーチャー。
Ah, look at him being caring.
もう忘れるな。それはリンにしか似合わない。
As if he's embarrassed, Archer looks away as he hands me the pendant.
Oh, look at this Sundari.
そう。じゃあ、ありがとう。
I accept it. To be honest, I don't know if I should be embarrassed or cool about it.
How about both?
Listen, they are both tsunderes, it's horrible. The pendant is as it was.
Oh man, we don't need the double the Sundaris.
As expected, there is no magical energy left in it. Empty of magical energy, it's just an expensive but ordinary jewel, and it doesn't hold any power. But, as Archer would put it, even if there is no power left in this pendant, it still has meaning as something my father specifically left for me. Then maybe I can just laugh off the fact that I helped that guy by sacrificing my trump card.
って待った。
Something clicks in my head. I wasn't thinking straight back then because of my regret, but thinking about it calmly, I missed something. He saw us, so it will be dangerous unless we adjust his memory. Basically, Lancer prioritized eliminating the witness over his battle with us. Lancer's thinking probably matches his master's. So, if such master finds out the guy they killed didn't die, what would he do?
そんなやつ、生かしておかない。
I get up from my sofa. It's been 3 hours since then. I might not make it, but after all I did, I have to make it on time.
Are we getting to the main character?
Yeah, sorta. I run through the night. Fortunately, I know where his house is.
How?
They go to the same school. And when he died, she was like, why did it have to be you?
Hmm.
No, I didn't look it up, but it just happens that an acquaintance of mine goes there a lot. Though, I've never been there myself.
Mm-hmm.
まったく余計な苦労を背負おうとしているぞ。
Also, this shows kind of the age of this visual novel, because a big trend in visual novels for scenes like this is you would have the what's it called? The footstep noises playing as they are running. You know, Archer has no interest in cooperating. He was against saving the guy when he was dying, and he's against me going to help him right now. It's midnight. Under the cloudy night sky, we reach Japanese-styled house. There's no sight of anyone in this house on the edge of the residential district. There aren't many houses around it, and there is no one to come and help if something happens here. My breath is white. A wind starts to pick up. It must be quite strong as the clouds start to drift fast.
Or maybe there's just an epic fight there happening.
The supposedly warm wind of Fuyuki sends chills down my spine, making me tremble. Even if Fuyuki City is considered warm, it's still cold on the hill. The air around here is frozen. I strain my ears in the cold atmosphere. In the frozen feeling, I feel a small sense of an enemy.
Yeah, we found the battle.
いる。さっきのサーバント。
I bite my lip. His presence is perceptible on the other side of this wall. Lancer is in the house already and about to kill the same guy again, who has just come home without a clue as to what happened.
飛び越えて倒すしかない。その後のことはその時に考える。
Ren, did you forget what happened last time?
Hey, Archer was winning. Just as I'm about to command Archer to go in. A bright white light like a fallen sun comes from within the house. The presence is eclipsed by another presence. The wave of power of the Servant Lancer is consumed by an even larger wave. The instantaneous explosion of ether gives the spiritual being a body summoned to overpower Lancer.
嘘。
I can only mutter. But it's true. To prove it, Lancer jumps over the wall and leaps away as if fleeing from this place.
ねえ、アーチャー。これももしもの話？
さあな。だがこれで7人。ついに数が揃ったぞ、リン。
Archer answers calmly. I've lost my normal judgment. That's why I didn't even consider the obvious event that would follow. The wind blows strongly. Clouds cover the sky like an umbrella.
So when's Nemesis coming?
The units, the unlit suburbs are enclosed by darkness. And the servant jumps over the wall, coming down like a demonic bird. Archer has reacted already. But I couldn't react. That was my mistake. The battle ended with that small opening not lasting even a second. It might have been only a second for me, but for that servant it was an opening that couldn't be ignored. A sword rushes for me.
アーチャー。
Archer pushes me aside and the servant slashes him. It happens in an instant. Archer, who handled Lancer's fury of attacks beautifully, has been taken down with one blow.
Damn! Saber is powerful.
But I made it in time, this time. Just as the enemy spirit is about to cut off Archer's head with her blade, I forcibly remove him. Pain in my right hand. Sets of command, so a command spell has disappeared from my hand.
Damn, she only had one left.
Now there is only one remaining. But this is for the best. Rather than having Archer die, I would prefer to lose one or two command spells. Giving no consideration to Archer's disappearance, the servant attacks me.
なめるな。
I take from my pocket a topaz with a wind spell stored in it, then I launch all the magical energy it contains at her without processing it. This thing, which can blow away a house without a trace, is a bundle of wind spells I've stocked up for over time. It's one of 10 jewels I've been putting my magical energy into for 17 years without rest. I'm using all the magical energy stored in it, so even if I can't defeat her, it should at least slow her down a bit. No, not even that. It did nothing.
I was about to say, or it'll just be useless.
The swirl of wind that instantly tears apart anything caught within it disappears like a magic trick the instant it touches the servant. Such a strong magic resistance. Mere magical energy from a magus cannot hurt this servant. So, this is it. She can't be hurt by magic, and I've lost the protection of Archer, so I can't stop this servant. I barely managed to avoid one blow, but that's all. I look up at the night sky. In it is the figure of cold-hearted death who is looking down at me as I lay miserably on the ground.
Ah, there she is. Wait, is the blade invisible?
Yes. The wind blows. In between the dark clouds in the spiral sky, the moon shines. The falling moonlight and the beautiful face. This is the servant that drove off Lancer. You know, hiding your weapon, hiding your identity, all that.
Yeah.
Defeated my archer in one strike. And annulled my magic with no trouble.
今の魔術は見事だった、メイガス。
The girl's voice is like a bell. Yes, this voice is like a nightmare right now.
For whom the bell tolls.
It's only natural. The more beautiful my enemy is, the more of a nightmare it is, as I cannot believe the difference in our strength.
だが最後だ、アーチャーのマスターよ。
The point of the sword shines brilliantly.
sorry.
On the verge of death, I understand. With just one look, without proof. This is the card I wanted. The one said to be the strongest of all servants, the hero of the sword.
Of course, we needed to have the wind blow.
I look up at the moon, accepting my death. There is no time for me to flee or plead for my life. I will die here, and Tosaka Rin's Holy Grail War will end on the third day. There is only disgrace and regret, and I will probably vanish bearing a grudge against my enemy. But still, I don't feel anything. Something must really be wrong with me. Even though I'm going to be killed in an instant, I adore her again. That's right. If you ask for regrets, that's it. But I guess it can't be helped. Because she's the most powerful servant. Because her figure is just so heartless, so infinitely valiant, and so beautiful.
Are we sure Rin is not the main character? Because she's kind of talking like a main character right now, wanting to just go on a date with her.
Listen, there's some roots. Something's happened.
Oh, Jesus!
Finally we hit the intro.
Okay, yeah, I had to lower the audio for both the stream and for myself because Jesus Christ, that blew out my ears.
God, it's so crazy watching this AM. This was like such fucking amazing AMV, and nowadays we have fucking Madhouse animating all of the Fate Stay, and it's so much better. Oh, that's funny. I get to see your cursor, and the stream doesn't.
Ah. So, does the Holy Grail just make the general populace forget what happened after the war, or?
Listen, it's powerful enough to bend reality. It's a god entity.
Why are we back at the title screen?
It's because you died. Press start. You are now past the prologue. Congratulations. You get to start the game.
Just press start?
Yes. Ah, no.
So,
Oh, yeah, so last Holy Grail War was 10 years ago. I am the bone of my sword. Steel is my body and fire is my blood. I have created over 1,000 blades. unknown to death, nor known to life, have withstood pain to create many weapons, yet those hands will never hold anything. So as I pray, unlimited blade works. I should have put on a voice, because this is the prayer.
Hmm.
It's important. It will be important. When I came to, I was in a burning field. I guess there was a big fire. Remember the forest that burned down? The familiar town had turned to
Oh.
ashes, and it looked like the remains of a battlefield from a movie. But that didn't last long either. The fire had died down by the time the sun rose. The tall wall of flame had shortened, and most of the buildings had fallen. It felt strange being the only thing in the place that still had its original form. I was the only one still alive around here. I must have been really lucky, or my house was built in a very lucky spot.
Hmm.
I don't know which it was, but the point is, I was the only one left alive. I felt that since I survived, I should live on. I started walking aimlessly because I thought it would be dangerous to just stay here. I wasn't really concerned about getting burned up like the people lying around me. Probably because over and above, not wanting to be like them, I had a stronger feeling in my mind. But still, I had no hope. It was already a wonder I was still alive, so I couldn't expect to be saved. I won't survive. Whatever happens, I won't be able to escape from this red world. It was such an absolute hell that even a small child could understand it. And I collapsed. Was it because there was no air? Was it because no function was left in my body? Anyway, I collapsed and stared up at the clouded sky. Everything around me was burned up, and I could see many shriveled people. The dark clouds loomed overhead, telling me it would rain soon. That's good. The fire will be put out once it rains. In the end, I sighed deeply and looked up at the sky. I say to myself that it hurts. I say so on behalf of all the people who couldn't even say so.
Man, we're actually getting into the game proper.
That was 10 years ago. After that, I was miraculously saved. My body survived.
Yep, that's the plot armor.
But I think of all the other things about me burned up and were reduced to ashes. If you take away child's parents, home, and all such things, there is nothing left for him. That's why there was only my body. I think it's a simple story. In other words, in order to let my body live, my heart died. I'm dreaming. I squint my eyes at the white light. I think. Oh shit, right. Does the protagonist not have a voice? He does! I'm pretty sure Shiro is voiced. It was just the light entering my eyes. I woke up, but I'm not used to it. We will see when we
Yeah,
have longer dialogue.
yeah,
I
we'll
probably
see.
didn't even understand what the bright light meant.
Yeah, there's the voice.
When my eyes focus, I'm surprised. I'm lying on an unfamiliar bed in an unfamiliar room. I'm surprised, but the room is so white and clean that I feel safe.
どこだろう
I look around. The room is big and there are many beds.
Just let me know if you want me to take over the reading.
Nah, no worries. I'm used to narration. A person is in each bed and everyone seems to be hurt. But nothing feels ill in this room. Everyone who's hurt is someone who was saved. I relax and let my eyes wander. Outside the window, the bright blue sky was unbelievably beautiful.
And back to the ceiling
After a
light.
few days, I finally understood. I could clearly remember what had happened in the past few days. Even so, I was no different from a newborn baby. Not just a metaphor, it was close to the truth.
What? He's talking like, yeah, he just rebirthed like a phoenix.
Anyway, it was a terrible fire. I had been saved from it, was in the hospital with my body wrapped in bandages, and my parents were gone. I didn't get the situation, but I vaguely understood that I was alone. I think I understood quickly. Well, there was nothing but children in similar situations around me, so all I could do was absorb the fact. And after that, that man came, right when I was beginning to worry what would happen to me next. He came on the day my bandages were taken off and I was able to eat without help. Wrinkled coat and uncombed hair. The man, a bit younger than the doctor, felt more like a big brother than a father.
こんにちは。君がシロー君だね。
A smile that seems to melt the white sunlight. I think it was a suspicious voice, but a very kind voice.
Oh. That's not a good voice.
率直に聞くけど、孤児院に預けられるのと、初めて会ったおじさんに引き取られるの、君はどっちがいいかな？
Damn. What do you want to choose? This option that could be shitty, or this option that could also be shitty?
That man was saying he could adopt me. When I asked him if he was a relative of mine, he said he was just a stranger.
Oh, that makes things better.
He looked like an unreliable guy with no future.
They're not giving the good points to this stranger.
But it made no difference, as I knew nothing about either one, him or the orphanage. So I decided to go with him.
そうか。よかった。なら早く身支度を済ませよう。新しい家に一日でも早く慣れなくっちゃいけないからね。
The guy quickly started packing my stuff. His packing wasn't very good, even in the eyes of a child. Then, after making a big mess,
おっと、大切なことを言い忘れた。
What, you could have mentioned the goddamn dungeon you have in your house?
no, what's his name, you know?
一つだけ教えなくちゃ
Actually,
いけ
no,
ない
wait,
ことが。
right. Worse. Is that okay? He turns to me lightheartedly and says,
はじめに言っておくとね、僕は魔法使いなんだ。
Oh, well.
he says it in a serious, exaggerated tone. Also very important, not a magus,
A
a
sorcerer.
sorcerer. It happened in an instant. Come to think of it now, I was really a child back then. I automatically believed those words.
Well, of course you did.
うわ、じいさんすごいな。
I guess I said so with bright eyes.
Oh, well, fade to black.
Since that time, I became his child. Actually, I don't remember what I said back then. But my father would always talk about that day. He would remember and retell the story again and again. So for my father, Emiya Kiritsugu, that might have been the happiest day of his life. So,
This random ass sorcerers just decided that to go into a hospital like, yeah, that child who was in the middle of a battlefield at the end of this Holy Grail Wall. Yeah, I want to adopt him.
there is more to it. I guess it was strange for my father to tell me that he was a sorcerer, but I was strange as well for admiring that. And thus, I became an adopted son, and my last name became Emiya. Shiro. When I said my name, I was really proud of having the same last name as Kiritsugu. I'm dreaming. a story from my childhood. It was when I finally convinced my father to make me his student, so it must have been about 8 years ago. When I was old enough to stay at home by myself, Kiritsugu started to leave the house on a regular basis.
I'm going out of for 6, kid.
He would say in his normal tone that he would travel the world and actually act on these words.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab this 6 from the other side of the world. Don't wait up for me.
That's how it was after that. It was normal for him to leave the house empty for a month, and he sometimes wouldn't come home for half a year.
God damn it, I was only joking about the 6.
The Emiya house is a big Japanese-style house, and Kiritsugu and I were the only ones living here. I was perplexed in this house at times, as it was too big for a child. But still, I liked my life here. Emiya Kiritsugu would come home from his journeys and tell me lots of stories like a child. And the child who shared his last name would be at home waiting for those stories. I was always alone in the house, but that loneliness would all fade with the stories he brought back. The father who was always chasing his dreams like a kid. His attitude was astounding, but he always seemed dazzling to me. That might be why I want to be like him someday. Well, on top of that, looking at my ever-dreaming father, I felt that I should become reliable myself.
Until he got stabbed by a spear. Oh. Just checking up.
I hear a sound. I hear a heavy, old, rusty sound as the door opens. Light enters the dark shed. My mind waking up.
先輩起きてますか？
Ah, hey, we have the Kohai.
Feels the cold air and the approaching footstep.
Oh, well. Did not realize it was gonna be this Kohai that we met before.
はい、おはようございます、先輩。
Sakura smiles and nods as if accustomed to the situation.
What the...
先輩、朝ですよ。まだ時間はありますけど、ここで眠っていたら藤村先生に怒られます。
そうだな。よく起こしに来てくれた。
What is...
いつもすまない。
Is he sleeping in school?
そんなことありません。先輩、いつも朝は早いですから。こんな風に起こしに来れるなんてたまにしかありません。
Sakura seems more upbeat than usual today, as if she's happy about something.
そうかな。結構さくらには起こされてるぞ、俺。けど、藤姉には叩き起こされるから、さくらの方が助かる。これに懲りずに次は頑張る。
I answer her with a sleepy head. I don't know what I'm saying with my mind not fully awake.
はい、わかりました。でも、頑張ってもらわない方が嬉しいです。
Sakura is giggling. I guess my head is still dozing, and I said something weird.
ちょっと待ってくれ。すぐ起きるから。
The cold outdoor air helps in situations like these. The chill works well to beat the sleepiness out of my head. In front of me is Matao Sakura, my junior at school. This place is the shed behind my house, and the time is 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
先輩、
目が覚めた。ごめんな、さくら。またやっちまった。朝の支度手伝わないといけないのに。
そんなのいいんです。先輩、夕べも遅かったんでしょ。なら、朝はゆっくりしてください。朝食の支度は私がしておきますから。
Sakura says so in a happy tone.
Wait, so... Is she living in the same house as him, or...?
She comes over to cook.
Ah.
It's unusual. Sakura really seems to be in a good mood this morning.
Yeah, I wonder why.
バカ、そういうわけにいくか。今起きるから一緒にキッチンに行こう。よし、準備完了。それじゃあ行こう、さくら。
いえ、その先輩。
Ah, there's the Kohai, the blush.
なんだよ。他になんかあるのか。
いえ、そういうことではないんですけど、その先輩、家に戻る前に着替えた方がいいと思います。
That said, I look down at myself.
I don't know if I want to continue clicking.
I fell asleep while I was working, so I'm still wearing my overalls.
Okay, we're good, we're good. Which police does not come in?
Being my work clothes, they are pretty dirty. I can't imagine what Fujine would say to me if I went into the house like this.
まだ目が覚めてないみたいだ。なんか普段に増して抜けてるな、俺。
ええ、そうかもしれませんね。ですから朝食の支度は私に任せて、先輩はもう少しゆっくりしていてください。それにほら、ここを散らかしっぱなしにしていたら藤村先生に怒られるでしょ。
そうだな。それじゃあ着替えてから行くから、さくらは先に戻っていてくれ。はい、
お待ちしてますね、先輩。
Sakura leaves. Well, I have to change into my school uniform and clear up this mess. The shed is built on the edge of our yard, and just as it seems, it's a warehouse we put all our junk in. But for me, it's a place of treasures, as I've enjoyed messing with things since I was a kid. Father didn't allow me to go into the shed, but I always sneaked in here. As a result, it became my base.
Ah, of course.
For me, Emiya Shiro, I guess you could call this my place, this place my real room. The big Emiya household doesn't suit me, and I can only relax in this space full of junk.
Because you're trash yourself. Hey. Okay, that was mean to me. That was mean of me.
ガラクタって言ってもまだ使えるし。
Most of the things in here are appliances that can't be used anymore. Did I bring all the junk in here because I liked the place, or did I come to like it because of all the junk? Anyway, since I was always sneaking in here, it became my hobby to fix the broken things. It's not like I get attached to things. I think it just annoys me not to use things that can still be used. And just like that, I was fixing up this stove last night.
完成は明日か。途中で寝るなんて集中力が足りない証拠だ。
I shake off the feeling of disappointment in myself.
Watch this out where one of these junk items is kind of like a memento to King Arthur or something.
I gather up the parts of the stove and put them on the shelf full of things waiting to be fixed. There are spaces on the shelf full of things awaiting repair, and all the VCR awaits after the stove. I guess I'll ignore the fact that Fujine broke both of them.
How did you break both of them?
I change into my uniform. She's a mess.
Ah,
This place is like my room, and holds changes of clothes, along with other things I need. It also has lots of blueprints and junk, the result of failures from when I do my training. There's also some kind of old design inscribed on the floor, like an altar or something.
so that's how Saber got summoned here.
さて、
I mean, it didn't choose Saber, Saber chose him because... complicated.
Hey, I meant for like so this is why he was capable of summoning someone in this place.
Yeah. Clapping my hands in prayer to the shed, I head for the house.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's just all pray here to the Almighty, the Shed Summer.
Listen, this is Shintoism.
What do you say?
This is Shintoism. You have to appease all the spirits and appreciate things and your ancestors. I emerge from the shed. The Emiya house is a Japanese-style house on the outskirts of town. My father wasn't much of a respected person in town, but he somehow still had this huge house. That on its own is a mystery, but it also seems he didn't have any relatives in Japan. That's why the house became mine and no one else's when my father died. Though, to be honest, I don't have that kind of management ability. Old man Fujimura is in charge of complicated things, like inheritance and property taxes. Old man Fujimura is the big landlord in this neighborhood.
Oh.
According to father, the old man's like a Yakuza boss. Of course, this is just prejudice. He's not like a Yakuza boss. He is a Yakuza boss.
Oh, damn.
Well, it's a problem in itself, but I prefer to ignore it.
Good choice.
It's certainly true that he's energetic and scary, but he's actually not that bad a person. It really helps me, as he pays a lot when I tune up the motorcycle he likes to ride. Anyway, that's why I'm the only one living in this big house. It's been 5 years since father died. The days have passed quickly. I sigh thinking about how much I've grown in those 5 years. I've trained every day to be like Kiritsugu, but it's not that easy in reality. It's natural because I had no talent to begin with, but what can be said about having no improvement at all in 5 years?
Well, just wait until day 3.
To sum up the present in one sentence, my goal is so far away that I'm not even at the starting line yet. Technically, it's today.
Oh, it is today.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, I guess it won't do any good to rush. For now, I have to do what I can. Well then. Right now, I should.
And then the Fujima Sensei, arrives with a candlestick.
Now you have no choices. Okay, so we're gonna try to go for Unlimited Blade Works if it allows us. If it doesn't, we will just do Fate. So I'll go and finish my later routine. Because Sakura is Heaven's Feel. No. The Emiya house has a big dojo. It was built when the house was built. It was only intended as a hobby. I'll warm up a bit before breakfast. I'm not really studying martial arts, but since father told me, if you want to be like me, you'll have to train your body first, it became my daily routine to work out. I finish my routine sit-ups and change out of my gi into my uniform. I slept in this morning, so I cut short of my workout. Some sit-ups with no stretching should be enough.
Is that going to be painful?
Yes. I'm not the kind to build up a lot of muscle, and it's not like I want to get into a fight. All I need is enough athletic ability to handle sudden accidents and to move as I wish when I have to. After all, the thing I want to become is the complete opposite of an athlete.
A nerd?
Sorcerer.
Ah.
I put this
Same thing.
into the laundry basket. It's 6:20. It's our house, even in our house, even this is a late time for breakfast. Breakfast is already prepared. I can smell the elegant scent of breakfast befitting Sakura.
Hey, we got the apron.
Thank you. すまん。俺が寝過ごした分、さくらに無理させちまって。
そんな、全然無理なんかじゃないですよ。それに、寝坊なんかじゃありません。先輩は部活をしていないんですから、この時間は十分に早起きです。
部活は関係ないよ。それを言ったら、朝練があるさくらがうちに来てくれるのってすごい早起きじゃないか。
Oh, right, she's in the archery club.
Yep.
いえ、私は好きでしていることですから、部活のことは気にしないでください。
まあ、だから俺も部活に関係なく早起きしたいんだ。さくらが来てくれるなら、 その時間には起きてないと失礼だろ。
For me, waking up early is waking up before Sakura gets here, and sleeping in is making Sakura prepare breakfast on her own, like today. Though this has only been a habit for a year and a half or so.
先輩、そういうところこだわりますよね。三釣先輩、エミヤは粗雑なくせに律儀すぎてうるさいって。
That name sounds familiar. Who was that?
Captain of the archery club.
Ah, okay.
Mitsuzuri is the captain of the archery club Sakura is in, and someone I have a lot of acquaintance with.
I need to learn to stop asking questions before the game answers them for me.
あいつ、まだ俺の文句をさくらにこぼしてんのか？
はい。先輩が卒業するまでに何としても社でうならせてやるって毎日頑張ってます。
What the fuck?
Remember when she said she's not the greatest at archery in school?
Of course, it's because the main character is better.
It's just he doesn't go to the club. He's not part of the club.
今じゃあいつのが段位高いだろうに。あれかな、思い出は無敵ってやつかな。美化されてるのは悪い気分じゃないけど、それも人によりけりっていうか。
三釣先輩、すっごく負けず嫌いですから、きっと心の中で先輩をライバルみたいに思ってますよ。
Sakura puts rice into a bowl as she talks. It's almost 6:30. The archery club's morning practice starts at 7. It's not mandatory, but she can't afford to take it easy.
藤根はそろそろか。ま、この時間に来ない方が悪いんだし。さくら、先に食べていいよ。
そうですね。はい、どうぞ先輩。
Sakura hands me the bowl with a smile. Then,
Oh, I thought that noise was because he ate it and it was just like, as usual, she's not good at cooking.
no. He's just embarrassed because she's cute. I'm used to this every morning, but her white fingers catch my eye.
Oh man, what a perv. Just looking at fingers. What is next? Holding hands? Fucking degenerate.
How can I put this? It's troubling. She must be maturing as she seems really feminine these days. Her casual movements are beautiful and she often takes my breath away. Perhaps it's a reaction to not feeling anything for her until now, but I'm noticing more and more feminine characteristics in her.
先輩、どうかしましたか？
いや、どうもしてない。どうもしてないから気にしないでくれ。
Honestly, why am I feeling tense around my friend's sister? She's a good underclassman and a junior I need to take care of. First of all, the relationship between me and Matao Sakura is just that of a senpai and a junior. She's the sister of a close friend of mine, but since she's a grade below me, we weren't that close. It all changed a year and a half ago into this cooperative kind of relationship. Sakura came to cook when I was injured, and after that, I think we just ended up like this. I think we intended to do it until my injury healed, but some trivial things came up to make her stay with it. Anyway, Sakura is a good cook and perfect at cleaning and doing the laundry.
Of course she is.
She's been a big help around here, and it's been a bit troubling recently. The problem is not in Sakura, but me. Frankly, Sakura is beautiful. She's one of the best looking first years, and I'm sure there are lots of guys who want to date her.
Oh boy, now we get into an actual, visual novel, the dating thing.
And on top of that, she's been growing in certain places recently, and some of her casual gestures have started to catch my eye.
There it is.
That's what I mean by a small problem.
Huh? How is that a small problem?
Maybe I'm just feeling guilty about being attracted to my friend's sister.
And there's the answer again.
Usually I'm fine, but when I'm caught off guard like just now, I blush. Does this make me unsuitable senpai?
No, that makes the perfect senpai. Heyo.
Cancel.
Is it?
See, because you have a full save, so you've seen these scenes in theory, so it gives you an option to skip.
Yeah,
Breakfast is placed on the table.
I was about to ask that. Is it because I have like the complete save file?
Yeah. A perfect breakfast consisting of chicken salad, cooked salmon, spinach, radish, and carrot miso soup and yam soup. Jesus Christ, that's
What?
like fucking lunch.
What the? Yeah, I was about to say that's way too much for a breakfast. What the hell?
いただきます。
Sakura and I bow and start our meal quietly. The sounds of our chopsticks echo. Sakura isn't the talkative type, and I'm not versatile enough to talk while eating.
Why would you need to talk while eating? Eat first, then you can talk.
Naturally, mealtimes are quiet. Usually it's louder, but today the loud person is.
Here.
She must have been watching spy movies last night, as she's eyeing us while hiding behind a newspaper.
Oh gosh, she's one of those.
藤村先生、ご飯時に新聞は見ない方がいいと思いますよ。
Fujine ignores Sakura's question. She's acting weird, but Fujine always acts in suspicious ways during breakfast. Sakura must be used to it, as she continues to eat with no particular care. Sakura prefers to make Western foods. She learned to cook Japanese food after she started coming here to help. Fujine and I prefer Japanese, so Sakura learned to make Japanese food for her breakfast. Now she's so good that she's almost surpassed me, her teacher.
Only almost.
The salmon is especially good as it's cooked to perfection. Her miso soup is tasty, and she has shown some capacity even for making yam soup by grinding yams. Actually, I think this is the first time she's made it.
悪い。さくら、醤油取って。
はい。大変です先輩。先輩のお醤油は昨日で切れてます。
じゃあ、藤根のでいいや。取って。
Regina is just gonna be like, nah, I'm still a spy.
藤村先生、いいですか？
Fujine nods. Her newspaper trembles.
はいどうぞ。とろろ汁に使うんですか？
なあ、とろろには醤油だろう、普通。
I put the soy sauce onto the white yam soup. After stirring it, I put it on the rice and take a bite. The stickiness of the yam and the taste of the soy sauce.
Oh no.
うわ、まずこれソースだぞ、ソース。
あ
しかもオイスター。
I almost throw it back up. Fujine throws her newspaper away.
どうだ。朝のうちにソースとお醤油のラベルを取り替えておく作戦なのだ。
Oh, of course.
She's horrible and I love her. The female spy throws up her arms to show her happiness.
How about we grab our arms and throw out of the house?
朝っぱらから何考えてんだあんたは。今年で25のくせにいつまで経っても藤根は藤根だ
She's
な。
the daughter of the Yakuza boss.
ふんだ。昨日の恨み思い知ったか。みんなと一緒になってお姉ちゃんをいじめるやつには当然の天罰ってところかしら。
天罰ってのは人為的なもんじゃないだろう。なんかおとなしいと思ったら昨日からこんなこと考えてやがったのか。
そうだよ。おかげでこれから急いでテストの採点しなくちゃいけないんだから。そういうわけで急がないとやばいのだ。
Fujine sits back down and finishes her breakfast quickly.
Wow, did she really need to check her priorities here?
はい、ごちそうさま。朝ごはん、今日も美味しかったよ、さくらちゃん。はい、おさま。 それじゃ先に行くわね。二人とも遅刻したら怒るわよ。
And whose fault is and who fault is that?
And she runs off. There's something wrong with a world in which that thing is a teacher.
先輩。
すまない。せっかくの朝食だっていうのに、藤姉のやつ、ろくに味わいもしないで。
いえ、そういうのではなくて、昨日藤村先生に何かしたんですか？食べ物に細工するなんて、藤村先生にしてはやりすぎですから。
That is a good question. What the hell did he do?
いや、それがさ、昨日ついあだ名で呼んじまった。
Wow, what a serious crime.
それじゃあ仕方ありませんね。先輩、藤村先生に謝らなかったんでしょう。
めんぼくない。いつものことなんで忘れてた。
ダメですよ。藤村先生、先輩にあだ名を言われるのだけは嫌がるんですから。また泣かせちゃったんでしょう。
Wait, is Fujine the nickname or?
No. No.
泣かした
It's,
上
it's
に
worse.
ダットのごとく走り去らせた。おかげで昨日の英語は自習だった。
And I was awarded a student honor written on a note paper, but I threw it away.
もう、それじゃあ、今朝のは先輩が悪いです。
Fujine is like a big sister for Sakura, so she's basically on Fujine's side. That's good in its own way, but I wish she'd consider my situation where I have to deal with Fujine 24/7. Fujine was originally an acquaintance of father's, and she's been coming to the house a lot since I was adopted. She started to show up even more after the father died, and she's now almost a dependent, eating breakfast and dinner here. No. Maybe she's why I was able to make it on my own even after my father died. Fujine, Sakura, and I are now the residents of the Emiya household. But I'm the only one who knows that my father was a magus.
What I thought it was a sorcerer.
That's a claim that he made, that he is a sorcerer, but he is a magus.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, it makes more sense once you understand. It's said that magi must hide their identities. So I've been hiding the fact that I'm learning magic ever since I became my father's student. I say I'm learning, but I can't even cast a single magic spell properly. With this kind of skill, it wouldn't make much difference whether I hide it or not, but because it was how my father wanted things, I've trained secretly since then. I finish breakfast and prepare for school. I clean the dishes with Sakura while listening to the news on TV. Sakura is staring at the TV screen. Over the screen runs an exaggerated teletype reading, "Gas leak accidents continue."
Yeah, sure. Gas leak.
It seems there was a big accident in the neighboring town of Shinto. It happened in a building in the business district. It seems a whole floor of people ran out of oxygen and fell unconscious.
Oh, gee.
They've called it a gas leak, but this kind of accident is happening often recently.
今のニュース気になるのか、さくら。
いえ、別に。ただ、事故がシントで起きているなら近いなって。先輩、シントの方でアルバイトしていますよね。
してるけど、別にそんな大きな店じゃないよ。今のニュースみたいな事故は起きないと思う。
But it's not a risk I can completely ignore. Gas leaks can happen in any building, and on top of that, it hurts to think that hundreds of people are suffering. It's said that the accidents are happening often because of defective construction work during the rapid development of Shinto.
Or it's fucking Magus's.
Whether that's true or not, I certainly don't want any more victims.
物騒な話だ。俺たちも気をつけないと。
あ、それならご心配なく先輩。 ガスの元栓はいつも2回チェックしてますから安心です。
Sakura boasts with pride.
いや、そういう話でなくて。
Yeah, I thought so before, but Sakura is a bit off too.
Oh, we're outside.
裏手の戸締まりはしました？
したよ。缶抜きかけたけど。
ありません。それじゃあ鍵かけますね。先輩、今日のお帰りは何時ですか？
少し遅くなると思う。さくらは？
私はいつも通りです。多分私の方が早いと思いますから、夕食の下準備は済ませておきますね。
うん、助かる。俺もできるだけ早く帰るよ。
We lock the gate. Sakura and Fujine also have keys to my house, and the rule is that the last person out locks up.
Makes sense.
行こうか。急がないと朝練に間に合わない。
はい。それじゃあ少しだけ急ぎましょうか、先輩。
We walk down the town together. Passing the long wall and going downhill, we reach the residential district. My house is on top of the hill, far away from the center of town. Going down the hill takes us to the residential district and beyond that. We reach the crossroads at the center of this town.
Hey, I remember this place.
From here, there are many roads, a big bridge leading to the neighboring city, a hill road that leads to Ryudo Temple, the residential district on the other side of town, the shopping district Sakura and I always use, and the school we're headed to right now. We head for the school without stopping elsewhere. We don't talk much as we walk up the hill. Since it's still 7 o'clock, there aren't many others on the road. Other than us, all you can see are a few others heading to their morning practices.
それじゃあまたな。部活、
Well,
頑張れよ。
I part with Sakura at the school gate, like usual. Sakura's in the archery club, so we have to part here in the mornings. But today Sakura doesn't go.
さくら、体の調子悪いのか？
いえ、そういうことじゃなくて、先輩、たまには道場の方に寄っていきませんか？
Oh, absolutely not, because then the captain is just gonna start challenging us to an archery match, and I don't think we want that.
いや、別に道場に用はないぞ。それに今日は一斉に頼まれてるから、生徒会室に行かないとまずい。
そうですよね。ごめんなさい。余計なことを言っちゃって。
Sakura bows.
それじゃあ失礼します。晩ご飯楽しみにしていてくださいね。
Sakura runs off like she's ashamed or something. I wonder what that was all about.
Oh man, I recognize myself in that obliviousness.
It's worse. It's worse than what you think.
Oh no.
一斉、いるか？
いるぞ。今朝は少し遅かったな、エミヤ。
He must have been studying, as Issei looks up from the paper he's reading.
一斉だけか。他の連中はどうしたんだ？この時間なら登校しててもおかしくないだろ
う。いや、あいにくとうちのメンバーはビジネスライクでね。働く時間帯はきっかり決まっていて、早出と残業はしたくないのだそうだ。
I mean, pretty good thing to have.
それで生徒会長自らが雑用か。ここはここで大変そうだな。
何？好きでしている苦労だ。エミヤに同情してもらうのは筋が違う。
いや、一斉に同情なんてしてないぞ。
それはそれで無念だが、聞き流すとしよう。情が映っているということでは同じだからな。
Issei, who is organizing the papers he was reading, is the big boss of the student council room. He's the guy trying his best to reform this lax student council, and he's been a friend of mine since first year. His full name is Ryudo Issei. Despite his old-fashioned name, he has elegant features and he's really popular with the girls.
Of course he is.
And he's also the student council president, so you'd think he'd take it like a duck to water, but
やはり朝は舌がしびれるほどの熱湯が良い。
he's just sipping tea like this, so he's not that firm. As you can see, Issei has a plain personality.
Man, can't wait until he gets angry and shows a completely different personality.
It's easily misunderstood, but he doesn't involve himself in love affairs nor engage in normal student recreations.
Yeah,
It's because he is the
recreations.
successor of the Ryudo temple up in the mountains. He's fine with that idea, so there is a good chance he'll shave his head when he graduates.
Oh no.
それで今日は何をするんだ？
ああ、まあともかく座って一服と言いたいのだが、時間がないな。移動がたら説明をするゆえ、いつもの道具を持ってついてきてくれ。
Oh, wait, are we gonna be meeting Rin here?
Yes,
率直に言うとな、
eventually.
うちの学校、金のバランスが極端なんだよ。
知ってる。運動系がひいきされてるもんで、他に予算がいかないんだろ？
結果、文化系の部員は絶えず不遇の扱いでな。今年から文化系に予算が行くよう尽力しているのだが、予算の流れが不鮮明でうまく回っていない。特に冬のストーブ不足に関しては打開策がまるでない。
そうか。あ、マイナスドライバーくれ。一番大きいやつな。あと動線も。これぐらいならなんとか。
動線？これか。すまん。よくわからん。間違っていたら叱ってく。
当たってるからいいよ。で、ストーブ不足がどうしたって？ここ以外にも故障してんのがあんのか？
ある。第二視聴覚室と美術部の暖房器具が怪しいそうだ。新品購入願いの嘆願書が刻一刻と増えている。
けど予算にそんな余裕はないと。やっぱり劣化してるだけだな。中がいかれてなくて助かった。
治りそうか、エミヤ。
治るよ。こういう時古いやつは分かりやすくていい。配線系のショートだから新しいのに変えればとりあえず今年いっぱいは頑張ってくれる。
そうか、やるなエミヤ。お前が頼りになると極めて嬉しいぞ。
Ah, yeah, the thing of I'm always so pleased when you're reliable, but when you're not reliable, I'm gonna fucking hate you.
おかしな日本語使うね、一世。もう少しで済むからちょっと外に出ててくれ。
エミヤの邪魔はせん。
Oh, is this the moment where he walks out and
Leaves
meets
the
me?
room quietly.
Yeah.
It seems he assumes that I'm going to do something delicate.
いや、デリケートといえばデリケートなんだけど。
Oh, is he gonna punch the heater?
I place my hand on the old electric heater. Usually, even if you're used to fixing things, it's hard to figure out what's wrong with it just by looking at it. So the fact that I figured that out means that what I'm doing is not ordinary. I block off my vision and look inside the heater with my sense of touch. In that moment, an image appears in my head.
電熱線が断
okay.
線しかかってるのが2つと、電熱管はまだ持つな。電源コードの方は絶縁テープでなんとかなる。
Good, I can fix this with the tools I have. If the pipe were broken, it couldn't be fixed by an amateur. If that had been the case, I would have had to strengthen it in a very amateurish way, but in this case, just looking at it will suffice. That is the magic Emiyashiro learned from Kiritsugu.
よし、始めるか。
I take the cover off and start to work. I already know where it's broken, so the rest is easy.
これだけは得意なんだけどな、俺。
That's right, Emiyashiro has no talent for magic. Though it doesn't make up for it, I think I'm quite skilled at visualizing structures like I did just now.
Doesn't that count as some sort of talent for magic?
No, because it's not technically magic. Well, it's basics, super basics. In fact, when I first figured out a structure and reproduced it, my father looked surprised and said, "What a useless ability." I guess my strong point isn't a useful ability. According to my father, it's already a waste of effort to perceive the structure with my eyes. For real maggots, there is no need to understand every corner of a structure like I just did. They say that the battle of the maggots comes in reading the center, the core of things, instantaneously and changing it faster than anything else. That's why reading the structure is a waste effort, as even if you do understand the structure, all you can do is determine where the magical energy could be more easily transmitted. So all in all, it turns out that my strong point is just in fixing things like this. I don't have to open them up to look for damage. If I can quickly search for broken parts and have the skills to repair them, most things can be fixed. Though that's only the case for simple things that can be fixed with amateur knowledge.
よし、終わり。次に行くか。
I pack away the conducting wire that I used, and go out into the hall with a screwdriver and wrench in hand. Hey, it's
いいっす。
time.
修理終わったぞ。
Hooray!
In the hallway, there's someone else apart from Issei, a girl.
But jeez, that's how she's dressed?
Yeah. I'm a bit surprised. The person talking to Issei is Tosaka Rin from class 2A. She's the lady who lives in a big mansion on top of the hill, a perfect honor student. Good looking, smart, athletic, and faultless.
Which means that she's not to be trusted.
She's intelligent, well-mannered, and modest about her looks. People say she's the ideal woman.
Once again, no trust.
So it hardly needs to be said that the guys at my school treat her like an idol. Though in Tosaka's case, she's so perfect that she's considered unreachable. It's commonly believed that only teachers and guys like Issei can even talk to her. Well, to be honest, I'm a guy too. So I'm one of Tosaka Rin's admirers. Tosaka looks at us as if she's in a bad mood. It seems to be true that she and Issei don't get along.
と悪い。頼んだのはこっちなのに、エミヤに任せっきりにしてしまった。許せ。
Wow. Issei's an amazing man talking like that and ignoring Tosaka.
そんなこと気にするな。で、次はどこだよ。あんまり時間ないぞ。
ああ、次は視聴覚室だ。前から調子が悪かったそうなんだが、この度ついに天寿を全うされた。
天寿全うしてたら直せないだろ。買い直した方が早いぞ。
そうなんだが、一応見てくれると助かる。俺から見れば臨終だが、お前から見れば仮病かもしれん。
そうか。なら試そう。
There's only about 30 minutes left until homeroom. I'll have to hurry if I'm going to fix it.
Alright, Byron, good luck with the summoning tonight.
I start for the AV room with Issei. But it's impolite to ignore her completely when we've met like this. I turn back to Tosaka, who's standing in a daze.
朝早いんだな、トサカ。
I make an honest comment, then follow Issei.
Like I said, good luck with the summoning.
He was just awkward.
Yeah.
Like, the entire thing was just like, oh shit, I have to say something. You're early. Bye.
Bye.
別に気にするな。俺が遅刻する分には大したことじゃないだろ。ま、一星が遅刻するのは問題だけど。
もっともだ。いや、間に合ってよかった。
Relieved. It's exactly 8 o'clock. The first homeroom bell has rung, so Fujine should be here in about 5 minutes.
That's nice. Well, the bell rings, so she should be 5 minutes late.
She also left the house way before he did.
Yeah.
I'm a bit out of breath since we ran here from the AV room.
Well, if you knew that she was going to be late, you could have taken it a little bit easy.
Taking a deep breath, I head to my seat.
朝から騒がしいね、エミヤ。部活を辞めてから何をしてるかと思えば、竜道の太鼓持ち。僕には関係ないけどさ、うちの評判を落とすようなことはしないでよね。君。なんていうか、節操ないからさ。
Oh, great, this fucking twat.
Matu Shinji, a friend of mine from middle school, is standing in front of my seat.
Friend?
Yup.
But that should be in quotation marks.
As you can tell from his last name, he's Sakura's brother, who's 1 year older than her.
Ah, yes, he had the same mid-dead eyes as Sakura has.
よ、弓道部は落ち着いてるか、シンジ。
当然だろ。部外者に話してもしょうがないけど、目立ちたがり屋が一人減ったんで平和になったんだ。次の大会だっていいところまで行くさ。
Ah, someone is jealous.
そうか。三つりも頑張ってるんだな。
はあ？何見当違いなこと言ってんの？弓道部が記録を伸ばしてるのは僕がいるからに決まってるじゃんか。エミはさ、とっくに部外者なんだから、知ったような口を叩くと恥をかくよ。
And I can't wait until there's like an option for me to punch him.
そうか。気をつけよう。もっとも、弓道部に用はないから関わることはないけどな。
Load the chair.
何それ？僕の弓道部には興味がないってこと？
興味じゃなくて用だよ。部外者なんだからおいそれと道場に行くの変だろう。けど何かあったら言ってくれ。手伝えることがあったら手伝う。弦張りとか弓の直し、シンジは苦手だったろ。
Ah.
そう、サンキュー。何か雑用があったら声をかけるよ。ま、そんなことはないだろうけどさ。
Yeah. Just go to the back of the class and shut up.
ああ、それがいい。雑用を残しているようなやつは首相失格だからな。あんまり藤村先生を困らせるなよ。あの人、怒ると本気で怖いぞ。
余計なお世話だ。ともかくお前はもう部外者なんだから、道場に近づくなよ。
Yeah, blah 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 blah. Get out.
He returns to his seat in his usual manner.
Good.
He seemed even more irritated than usual today.
Did you talk to a certain person who pissed you off? Because ha!
ふざけたやつだ。自分からエミヤを追い出しておいて、よくもあんな口が聞ける。
なんだ、伊勢、いたのか。
なんだとはなんだ。気を利かして聞き耳を立てていた友人に向かって、なんと冷淡な男だお前は。
なんで気を利かすのさ。俺、一斉に心配されるようなことをしてないぞ。
たわけ、心配もするわ。エミヤはカッとなりやすいからな。真珠に殴りかかれば、皆は喝采を送るが、女どもからは非難の嵐だ。友人をそんな微妙な立場に置くのはよろしくない。
The girl will come around it. Beat him up.
そっか。 言われてみればそうだ。ありがとう、伊勢。そんなことにはならないだろうけど、今の心配はありがたい。
うん。わかればよろしい。だが意外だったぞ。エミヤは怒りやすいくせに、マトウには寛大なんだな。
ああ。あれはシンジの味だからな。付き合いが長いと慣れてくる。
うん。そんなものか。
そんなものです。ほら、納得したら席に戻れよ。そろそろ藤村先生がすっ飛んでくるぞ。
あの方は飛んでくるというより浮いてくるという感じだかな。
But is she gonna just fly? I mean, with a flying drop kick or something?
The homeroom bell rings. A homeroom teacher usually would come 5 minutes early, but our homeroom teacher isn't like that. For class 2C, homeroom starts 1 minute after the bell rings, right when we hear.
There she is.
And Fujine runs into the classroom.
よーし間に合ったー。みんな
Wham! Fujine falls over with a terrible sound. The classroom is filled with silence in contrast to the clamor from a second ago.
Don't fucking turn negative on me.
A sudden change of atmosphere. Just as you'd expect from Fujine, her nickname of Human Jet Coaster isn't just for show.
Human what now?
But that really was a bad hit. Fujine is still on the ground, having hit her head on the platform. You can't see the expression with her head facing the ground, so it gives you a bad mental image.
おい、前の席のやつ、先生起こしてやれよ。
やだよ。近づいた途端パクって食べられたら怖いもん。
Just throw something at her.
ミミックじゃあるまいし、さすがに藤村でもそこまでやらねえだろ。
あんたね、そう言うんなら自分で起こしてあげなさいよ。
Just throw something at her.
うわ、俺パス。こういうの苦手。
These fucking kids.
私だって苦手よ。だいたいなんで女の子にやらせるわけ？男子やりなさいよね、男子。
Oh wow. What a fucking excuse. I guess you do it.
Front row is getting noisy. As we're in the middle rows, we can't tell what sort of state Fujine is in. We can tell, so we all stand up to look.
ちょっと先生動いてないぞ。気絶してんじゃないのか？
Someone asks. If so, the problem would be how to get her to the nurse's office. Everyone here is a warrior who has been with Fujine for the past year. They probably want to get out of the habit of taking their teacher to the nurse's office.
What the how often does this happen?
藤村先生、大丈夫ですか？
A brave female student calls out to her. Fujine doesn't even twitch.
Once again, throw something at her.
A sense of worry runs through the room.
It doesn't have to be something heavy.
まずいって今の転び方。こう頭から直角に教団に突っ込んだじゃないか。あれで無傷だったら藤村無敵っぽいって。いっそのこと野球部にスカウトするのはどうだろう。やめろよな、そういう脅しは。タイガーが顧問になった日には俺たち甲子園行っちまうぞ。
Wow, they really doesn't want to play in tournaments.
藤村先生、
Listen, even if she's an airhead, she
ダメ。
can get people motivated. She can fucking force them to work.
おい、お前目の前なんだから起こしてやれよ。やだよ俺。もし死んでたら殺されかねねえ。
What the fuck? I want to know what kind of mental gymnastic you made to get to that conclusion.
でも、だからってほっといたら後が怖いと思うし。
でも誰も近づきたくないと。
Alright. Can we, the main character, just fucking go up to her?
仕方ねえな。こうなったらあれしかないか。
うん。
Remember, daughter of the Yakuza boss.
せーの。
All our hearts become one. Well, not Shinji and I, because we were too scared.
せーの。
Even though everyone said it at the same time, it's only as loud as a whisper.
Wait, tiger?
The tiger part is especially quiet. But still, a twitch.
Uh-oh.
The silent Fujine react.
Is tiger the nickname?
お動いた効き目ありだぞみんなよし続けろガコロートンの刑じゃ
Everyone must be stressed from the impending exams. Even though they shouldn't, they repeat Fujine's nickname while waving their arms.
Oh.
起きろタイガー朝だぞ
先生起きないとタイガーです
負けるなタイガー立ち上がれタイガーよし起きろ先生それでこそタイガーだぞタイガータイガー
There it is. Oh, jeez, help!
A roar of lightning.
Oh, I'm going to die because a bunch of students did the stupid thing, and I just sat down like a normal person.
He stands bravely as if the fall has done nothing at all.
みんな何してるのダメよホームルーム中に席を立っちゃほらほら始めるから座りなさい
What the... Okay, things are back to normal.
Fujine stands before everyone in her usual manner. It seems all memories from the moment she entered the classroom have fled her head.
おいタイガー覚えてないみたいだぞラッキー朝からついてるないやついてるっていうのかなこういうの
Everyone returns to their seats, chatting.
今誰か先生のことバカにしなかった
え、してないっすよ。気のせいじゃないっすか。
そっかならよしじゃあ今朝のホームルームを始めるからみんなおとなしく聞くように
Fujine starts homeroom slowly. She chats in between the announcements so we don't get through it very fast.
そういうわけだからみんなも下校時刻を守るように門限は6時だから部活の子たちも長居しちゃダメよ
6時って言ったらすぐじゃんか。タイガ先生、それって運動系は免除されないの
What? Perfume?
されませ
A
ん
man has chosen
そ
death.
れと後藤くん
Uh,
先生のことは藤村先生って言わなくちゃダメなんだから次に名前で呼んだら怒るからね
yeah, just wait. You don't want her to get out the bamboo sword again.
はーい。以後注意します。
Goto-kun sits down again, not showing any signs of listening to her. How stupid of him. Fujine gets mad when she says she will. It makes no difference that he's a student and she's a teacher. He doesn't realize that she just gave him a final warning.
それじゃあ今日のホームルームはここまでみんな3次元目の英語で会おうね
Fujine leaves, waving her hand. She's the teacher responsible for Class 2C, Fujimura Taiga. Her nickname is Tiger. You might doubt it, but it really is her nickname. People like calling her so since her name, she has a name like Taiga, but Fujine herself hates the nickname. According to her, it's unfeminine. But she's that kind of person, so I think it's her own fault she has an unfeminine nickname. Wearing a striped or yellow fucking sweater also doesn't help.
Yeah, it's...
授業を始める
Ah!
日直礼を
Yeah, the super serious teacher.
The teacher for the first period enters as Fujine exits. It's like this every morning as Fujine continues homeroom until the very last minute.
Oh, time skip.
And the classes end like every other day. There are many kinds of students, ones that go to clubs, ones that hurry home, and ones that stay in the classroom for no reason.
Why were you staying in the classroom for no reason? Just go.
Slacking off, chatting with people.
Fair.
It looks like I won't be in any of those categories.
すまない ちょっといいかエミヤ。今朝の続きなんだが、今日は時間あるか？
Oh, is that why he was still at school when the fight started?
いや、予定はあるといえばあるけど。
Actually, wait, this is day early. After all, the main reason I quit the archery club is because I wanted to prioritize work. It's already been 5 years since father died, and I decided to start working to pay my living expenses. If you work a lot, there are some jobs you just can't refuse. Today's an example. They are restocking inventory at work, and they asked me to come if I can, as any help is appreciated. But it's certainly not something I have to go to. They are probably just having people come in because they want to party after work. There are two options.
Oh,
We're gonna help the student council.
oh, we're gonna help them out.
Yes. It's something I've started. I should finish the job I began this morning.
予定変更。朝の続きだろ。任せろ。試験が始まる前に備品の修理なんて済ませちまおうぜ。
助かる。それでは美術部の患者を見に行くとするか。
はいよ。と、人払いはちゃんとしてくれよ。人目があると集中できない。
無論だ。他の連中に邪魔はさせぬ。
Issei quickly walks to the hallway, and I follow him out of the classroom in a hurry. The sun has already set when we leave the school building. The school gates are already closed. It's 7 o'clock and way past curfew, but thanks to Issei, we are not in trouble. The curfew is closing of the school gate, basically. That's more so what they mean curfew-wise.
Oh, okay.
何かあったら遠慮なく言ってくれ。
そうだな。なんかあったら言うよ。まあ、とりわけ何もないとは思うけど。
I didn't help him to get something in return, so there's nothing I want from Issei.
まったく。人が良いのも考えものだな。エミヤがいてくれると助かるが、他の連中にいいように使われるのは我慢ならん。人助けはいいことだが、もう少し相手を選ぶべきではないか？
そんなに節操ないか。
Shiro is,
これでは心ないバカどもがいいように利用しようというものだわ。
he helps everybody.
エミヤも忙しい身なのだから。
He's a good
たま
boy.
には他人の頼みなど断ってもよかろう。
I can't really tell, but it seems like Issei's worried about me. I've been called helpful since I was in middle school, as I don't turn down requests for help and don't ask for anything in return. I guess Issei thinks that's dangerous. But I'm doing it because I want to, and it's not a problem as I decline things that I think are beyond me.
それは一斉がするような心配じゃない。自分のことは自分が一番わかってるさ。それに、人助けは善行だろ。寺の息子が咎めるようなことじゃあるまい。
しかしな、エミヤのは度が過ぎるというか、このまま行くと潰れるというか。
忠告は受け取っとく。それじゃあまた明日。
それではまた明日。
Issei leaves, looking discontented. Issei's house, Ryudo Temple, is up in the mountains, so naturally our routes home go. Oh, our routes home go in the different directions. That sounded weird in my head.
A white girl? What the?
I walk through the moonlit town. Walking up the road, I notice that there aren't any people around. The time is around 7:30. There should be people around at this time, but there's no sign of anyone.
そういえば確か。
There was some crime here in Miyama City a few days ago. Burglar murdered someone, I think. That must be why there is no one around and why the school curfew became 6 o'clock.
ガス漏れに強盗か。物騒なことになってきたな。
No wonder there are fewer people walking around at night. It's getting too dangerous to let Sakura go home on her own. Sakura's house is in the residential area on the other side of town. Starting tonight, I should walk her home. For a moment, I can't believe my eyes. There's someone on the road, which I thought was empty. The person is standing above me as if looking down at me. Without realizing it, I hold my breath. The silver-haired girl smiles and descends the hill without a sound. As she passes,
早く呼び出さないと死んじゃうよ、お兄ちゃん。
she says something strange.
Yeah, sure. Who doesn't want to be told that you're gonna die if you don't do something from a random little girl?
I go up the hill and reach my house. As the lights are on, Sakura and Fujine must be home already. I smell dinner the moment I entered the living room. At the table are Sakura and Fujine in the middle of dinner. It seems the main dish tonight is chicken in cream, and Fujine, who loves white sauce, is in a good mood.
おかえりなさい先輩。お先に失礼していますね。
ただいま。遅くなってごめんな。もうちょっと早く帰ってくればよかったんだけど。
いいです。ちゃんと間に合いましたから。ちょっと待っててくださいね。すぐ用意しますから。
うん、頼む。手を洗ってくるから、人のおかずを食べないように藤姉を見張っといてくれ。
はい、きちんと見張っ。
I return to my room. It's a fairly empty room compared to the shed, but since I don't have any hobbies, I think it's quite decorated. Male living spaces right here.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, this is like the most decorated male room I've seen. It even has a pillow.
Insane.
Insane.
Most of them are random things Fujine has left here, though. I wash my hands, change, and return to the living room to find my dinner ready.
いただきます。
はい、お口に合えばいいんですけど。
Sakura is terribly modest. Her cooking skills have vastly improved in the past year. She has me completely beaten at Western-style foods, and I can barely beat her at Japanese food. Neither of us have touched Chinese. I'm pleased my pupil is getting better, but it's kind of depressing when the teacher is defeated by the student. It's as good as I expected. Chicken becomes harder the longer you cook it, so it's juicier and tastier if you roast it before cooking it. Even though it's tedious. I'm spacing words wrong. Ugh. That's done perfectly here. It's a master skill, forever beyond the clumsy Fujine.
どうでしょうか先輩。今日のはうまくいったと思うんですけど。
文句なし。ホワイトソースも絶妙だ。もう洋物じゃさくらにはかなわないな。
さくらちゃんがご飯作ってくれるようになってからお肉関係が美味しくなった。
With that, Fujine, who had been preoccupied with her food, lifts up her head.
ダメよシロ。学生がこんな夜更けに帰ってきちゃいけないんだから。
It seems she's in a bad mood now that she's seen my face, even though she was happy because of dinner.
もうまた誰かの手伝いをしてたんでしょう。それはそれでいいことだけど、こんな時ぐらいは早く帰ってきなさい。最近物騒だぞってホームルームで言ったじゃない。あれ、シロに対して言ったんだからね。
あのさ、わざわざホームルームで言わなくてもうちで言えばいいんじゃないの？
ここで言っても聞かないもの。学校でガツンと言った方がシロには効果的なんだもん。
I mean, she's not wrong.
先生、そ それは職権乱用というか公私混同だと思います。それぐらいしないとシローはダメなのよ。いつも人の手伝いばっかりして損してるからさ。たまにはまっすぐ帰ってきてのんびりしててもいいじゃない、バカチン。
バカチンとはなんだよ、バカチンとは。いいじゃないか。誰かの手伝いをして、それでその人が助かるんなら損なんかしてないぞ。
はあ、キリツグさんに似たのかな。シローがそんなんじゃお姉ちゃん心配だよ。
I don't exactly know how she's worried, as she's energetically munching down her dinner.
藤村先生、今の話からすると先輩って昔からそうなんですか？うん、昔からそうなの。なんか困ってる人がいたら自分から手を出しちゃうタイプ。けどおせっかいってわけじゃなくて、シローはね、単におませさんなのだ。
Fujine laughs dangerously.
藤ね、余計なこと言ったら怒るぞ。もうさくらもつまんないこと聞くなよな。
I glare at them. Fujine clicks her tongue and
藤
backs
村
down,
先
but
生、お話を続けてください。
Sakura is taking the lesson seriously.
じゃあ話しちゃおう。これがね、シローは困った人を放っておけない性格なのよ。弱きを助け強きをくじくってやつ。子供の頃の作文なんてね、僕の夢は正義の味方になることですだったんだから。
She's talking about things from so long ago. But it's all true, and so I don't interrupt. Anyways, becoming a superhero is a goal I must not stray from even now.
So he still wants to be a superhero.
He wants to help.
すごい子供だったんですね、先輩。
Why is that so shocking for?
すごかったよ。年上の男の子にいじめられてる女の子がいたら助けに入ってくれたし、キリツグさんが武将だったから家事だって一生懸命こなしてたし。あの頃は可愛くて純真だったのに、それがどうしてこんなひねくれた子になっちゃったんだろうな。
そりゃ藤姉がいたからだろう。ダメな大人を見てると子供はいろいろ考えるんだよ。悔しかったらちゃんと自分で飯作ってみろ。
Fujine crumbles.
There's the tiger face.
I thought she might drop her head and repent, but
No, she's gonna bite my head off.
お姉ちゃんは悲しいよ。さくらちゃん、おかわり。
Fujine asks for her third bowl.
Third?
Yeah.
I can
Relaxing
take.
after dinner. It's almost 9 o'clock. Sorry, what?
And I just said that I can take over the reading. Get the
It's still not an issue.
I kind of feel like I want to read a little bit too.
Sure. Fair enough. I'm gonna eat my soup then.
Yeah, sure.
さて、何をしたもんか。
There's some time before my evening training. I should. Oh, we have choices here.
Technically, you can do any of the three. It shouldn't matter.
You know what, let's take Sakura home. I haven't thanked Sakura for dinner yet, so I'll go and talk to her.
そうだな。夜も遅いし、家まで送って行ってやらないと。
Sakura is in the living room getting ready to go home, having finished the cleaning.
あれ、先輩、お風呂に入ってたんじゃないんですか？
いや、風呂は後回し。さくらを送ってから入る。
送るって。
ああ、最近物騒だから家まで送る。さくらんち結構遠いだろ。わざわざ来てもらってるんだから、それぐらいはさせてくれ。
Sakura falls in an awkward silence. Did I say something bad?
ごめんなさい。気持ちは嬉しいんですけど、先輩は休んでいてください。家までだったら慣れてますし、一人でも大丈夫ですから。
いや、それはそうだろうけど、今日は特別だ。しばらくは家まで送っていくよ。
でも兄さんに見つかると先輩にまで迷惑がかかります。
Who cares what that's for? The things, I'll just throw him into the trash where he belongs. That's right. Sakura's brother Shinji doesn't approve of Sakura coming to my place. He can't object too strongly because she says she's going to Fujine's house, but it could be a problem if I take her home. It's a problem, but so what? I don't care what Shinji says. It's a much bigger problem if Sakura has to walk home alone at dangerous times like these.
俺にかかる迷惑なんていい。ともかく最近は物騒なんだから送ってく。
でもやっぱり先輩に悪いですから。
悪くない。日頃世話になってるんだから送るぐらいさせてくれ。それとも一人で帰りたいのか？
いえ、そういうことではなくてですね。
ならいいだろう。これでも腕には自信があるんだ。大抵の傍観は返り討ちにできるから、こんな時ぐらいは使ってやってくれ。なんか出てきてもちゃんと桜を守るから。
Like a superhero! And nudged Sakura towards the hallway with a glance.
先輩、本当にいいんですか？また兄さんと喧嘩しちゃうかもしれませんよ。
構わないよ。男同士で喧嘩しない方が変だし、シンジとはそれぐらい素直に言い合った方がいいんだ。あいつ、ああ見えて隠し事とか嫌いだから、文句があるならすっぱりと言い合った方がすっきりする。
Sakura looked surprised for some reason.
どうした？なんか変なこと言ったか？
いえ、言ってませんよ。先輩が兄さんと仲良くしてくれるのが嬉しいだけです。
The hell you talking about?
いや、仲良くってのは難しいぞ。すっきりするのは俺だけで。
そうですね。けど兄さん、何度喧嘩しても先輩に話しかけるでしょ。兄さん、きっと先輩が苦手なんです。けど他の人よりずっと好きだから、いつも先輩を気にしてるんですよ。
それは返答に困る意見だな。
はい、先輩が羨ましかったから少しだけ困らせてみました。
Sakura smiles. Seeing that smile, I hold my breath without realizing it. Would you call that a big smile? I think it's the first time I've seen her smile like that.
とにかく送っていくからな。シンジに見つかったら見つかったでいい。妹を送り届けたんだから、あいつだって文句は言わないだろう。
そうですね。隠すよりはそうした方がいいかもしれません。それじゃあお言葉に甘えていいですか、先輩。
はいよ。たまには先輩らしいとこを見せてやれ。
I smack my chest. Sakura smiles warmly at my gesture of trust me. Ooh. We go down the hill and reach the intersection. There's no one around and the familiar residential district feels desolate. It's not even 10 o'clock yet, but the town is asleep. The silence is strange. Even though there have been nasty incidents, should night really steal this much their life?
先輩、私の家こっちですけど。
悪い。ちょっとぼーっとしてた。さくらの家はあっち側の一番上だもんな。
いえ、一番上にあるのは東坂先輩のお家ですよ。マトウの家も高いところにありますけど、一番上じゃないんです。
あれ、そうだったか？東坂って東坂？
はい、2年生の東坂凛さんです。先輩、苦手なんですか？
You must have read my reaction as her comment is accurate. Was I making that kind of
い
face?
や、苦手ってわけじゃない。話したこともないし、よく知らない相手だ。ただ、有名な優等生だろあいつ。 どこにいても目立つから人並みに知ってるだけ。そういうさくらは同じ洋館だし、もしかして近所付き合いとかあるのか？
ないですよ。確かに近所ではありますけど、遠坂先輩のお家は坂の上ですから。けど遠坂先輩のお家が洋館だって知ってるんですね。
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Her voice lowered into a whisper. Wait, we have a bit of alert here. Warning. Sakura asked quietly.
ちょっと小耳に挟んだんだ。遠坂のところは幽霊屋敷だとかなんとか。幽霊屋敷って言ったら洋館と相場が決まってるだろ。
Hey. That is a... Oh, can't call it racist. What the hell can you call this? The naturalist. Yeah, that's probably the closest thing. How fucking naturalist of you to assume that only Western style houses can be haunted?
そうですね。遠坂先輩は一人が好きみたいですから。私も子供の頃、坂の上には怖い魔法使いが住んでるって言われてました。
I mean, she's not wrong.
へえ、怖い魔法使いか。俺もそんな風な噂は聞いたな。まあ、それ言ったらあっちの家はみんな魔法使いが住んでいそうだけど。で、さくらは信じたのか、その話。
信じました。だって子供だったんです。だから坂の上には行っちゃいけないっていつも思ってました。
Sakura answers my joking question seriously. And onwards we go! We go up the hill. It's a residential district rather opposite to mine, but the habits are the same. There are fewer and fewer buildings and more trees as you ascend the hill. It's only natural, as most of the town's facilities are at the bottom of the hill. In all that, one of the few buildings near the top of the hill is Sakura's house. Sakura stops suddenly.
なんだ、忘れ物か？
いえ、忘れ物じゃないんですけど。先輩、うちの近くに誰かいませんか？
Is it your brother? Because if it's your brother, I can just walk up to him, throw him into the trash can, that way he belongs, and then we can just... Then you can just walk in. No need to worry about him. He looks around uneasily. I look around too, but there's no one here except us.
別に誰もいないけど、なんかあったのか？
いえ、いないならいいんです。なんか最近家の近くで見慣れない人をよく見かけるから、今日もいるのかなって。
なんだそれ。なんか危なくないか、そいつ。どんなやつなんだよ。
金髪のかっこいい人でした。モデルさんみたいだから、先輩も見たらびっくりすると思います。
Sakura says so with a blush as if recalling him. Sakura? I don't know if that's something I should be worried about.
なんだ、不審なやつってわけじゃないんだ。
What do you mean he's... What do you mean it's not like he's suspicious? What are you talking about? A guy that good looking stalked around the outside a house is still creepy, no matter how good he looks.
わかりません。ただ、最近は引っ越してきた人なんていないから、おかしいなって。
まあ、とにかく怪しいって言えば怪しいよな。よし、もしまた家のあたりをうろついてるようだったら、俺かシンジに言ってくれ。捕まえて何してるのか白状させるから。
Yeah. Flexing those muscles.
はい、頼りにしてます。けど、手荒なことはしないでくださいね。私、先輩に喧嘩されると困ります。
Your brother will probably just grab his bow and shoot him. Sakura says so while smiling straight at me.
大丈夫だよ。ちゃんと話し合いから始めるから。さくらが心配することない。
I look away from Sakura's smile as I answer. Jeez. Sakura's gestures captivate me often these days. It would have been nothing a while ago, so I feel like I'm acting weird. Maybe it's because Sakura has grown, or maybe just because I finally noticed it. Well, I do think Sakura has become really beautiful. That on its own is great, but I don't think it's cool for a senpai to have to be careful where he's looking.
それじゃあおやすみなさい先輩。送ってもらえて嬉しかったです。
バカ、礼なんて言うな。晩飯作ってもらってるんだから、お礼を言うのはこっちの方だ。
Sakura just smiles with satisfaction.
たく、こんなんでいいんなら明日から日課にするからな。はい。
先輩の気が向いたとき、たまにでいいですから送ってください。兄さんに怒られるけど、私はやっぱり先輩と一緒がいいです。
Like I said, who cares about what that twat thinks?
先輩、また明日ですね。今日はありがとうございました。
Sakura calls back enthusiastically and disappears into the house.
さて、
I should head home too. I let Fujin in at the house, and to be honest, that's what worries me.
あれ？
Huh? Did I just hear something? I can hear it. The sound of a creaking swing. It takes me a while to realize it's the sound of some bug.
どんな虫かな。何にせよ、季節外れもいいところだ。
I imagine a longhorn beetle in the dark under the cold winter sky. Then I noticed.
あれ？明かりが3つある。
The one that just lit up is Sakura's room. The light on the first floor is Shinji's room, so what's the light from the third room? Hmm?
シンジんとこはさくらとシンジしかいないはずだけど。
Maybe it's a guest or Shinji's in that room. Anyway, I've been here many times, but this is the first time I've seen the light on in that room. Well, it's a big house. It's not strange for a light to be on somewhere in such a house. It's not strange, but
なんだろう。なんか胸がざわつくな。
is that what Lancer is? I feel something, like a presence or a bad feeling. In the cold air, the unseasonal sound echoes. If there's such a thing as a hunch, the bug hidden in the bushes feels very ominous. Okay. Right. Oh, apparently it's time for some training. And so the day ends. Just before midnight, Miyashiro must carry out his daily routine of using magic. I stretch out and adjust my breathing. I try to empty my mind. I ignore everything around me and pay attention only to what is inside me.
トレス。
As if to hypnotize myself, I murmur the spell I'm long accustomed to. No, I really am hypnotizing myself. As I have no magic crest and no knowledge of magic, a spell is only a change to myself. Normally, there are no lines in a human body that allow the passage of magical energy. To artificially change my body to create such a line, I need enough concentration to unify my whole body and every nerve within it. Magic is a battle with yourself. For instance, at this very moment, I am inserting a burning steel rod into my backbone. This metal rod is the only magic circuit I can prepare for myself. When I insert this deep into my body and connect it to the other nerves, I can finally become a magus. This is not a metaphor. In reality, something like a burning tongue which cannot be seen or felt is being inserted into my backbone. I almost read that as fong. Like a burning fong. Jesus Christ.
僕は魔法使いなんだ。
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Emiya Hirisugu, where the man who said so was really a magus. A living magus who performed many marvels and had touched the very structure of the world. As a young child, I admired him, asked him to teach me magic. But you cannot become a magus just through effort. It requires born talent and appropriate knowledge. And of course, I have no talent, and Tetsugu taught me nothing of magic. He said something about me having no need of such knowledge. I still don't know what he meant by that, but still, it didn't matter to me back then. I thought if I could use magic, I could be like him. But I was not born with talent. No strength of magic circuit, no accumulated works of magic handed down for generations. The work of magic Kirisuke possessed, the magic crest passed down the Emiya family, can only be passed on to a blood relation. A magic crest forces rejection of those with no blood relation. So, as an adopted son, I could not receive the Emiya family's magic crest. Well, anyways, as I don't even know what a magic crest is, it doesn't matter if I have one or not. So now all it comes down to is training what I can do. If I want to become a magus, I have to learn the magic fit to my nature. To be blunt, magic is a way to release one's magical energy. You could say that the magical energy is my life force. It is divided into two forms. A large source, mana, floating around the world, and a smaller source, the OD, created inside oneself. It goes without saying that the large source is superior to the small one. The power of mana is on a completely different level from odd. Whatever the form of the magic, a spell using the large source far exceeds one using only one's own power. That is why superior magi excel at drawing magical energy from the world. It's like a filter. A magus turns his body into a filter, sucks up the mana from the world around him, and changes it into something he can use. This filter is what we call a magic circuit. This is a talent one is born with, and the number of the magic circuits within you is determined the moment you are born. Normally, human beings do not have many magic circuits. To begin with, there are always very few. That is why magi piled down generation after generation, making the children more susceptible to use magic. I hear some families go too far and increase the number of magic circuits by selective breeding. Well, since I was raised in a normal family, I don't have many magic circuits. That leaves only one method open to me. According to Kiritsugu, every person has at least one form of magic they are fit for. He said something about drawing out magical energy appropriate to their origin, but I didn't really understand it. All I know for sure is that even if I have some magic I can use, and if I train that magic, I may be able to become like Kiritsugu. That's why I learned only that magic. That was 8 years ago. After a lot of thought, Kiritsugu finally accepted me as his student.
いいかいしろ。魔術を習うということは、常識からかけ離れるということだ。死ぬときは死に、殺すときは殺す。
Is this relation to where that meme comes from, where he just says, you die when you get killed?
It is a Shiro quote, yes.
But it's in relation to him just reflecting upon this lesson or whatever.
Not really. It kind of makes sense in context, and it's taken out of context because haha, funny meme.
Ah, okay. I guess I had no fear as a child. Kirisuke smiled bitterly, putting his hand on the nodding Emiyashiro.
君に教えるのはそういった争いを呼ぶ類のものだ。だから人前で使ってはいけないし、難しいものだから鍛錬を怠ってもいけない。でもまあ、それは破ったって構わない。一番大事なことはね、魔術は自分のためじゃなくて他人のためだけに使うということ。
I guess Kirisuke didn't want me to become a magus. I don't care about that. I don't admire magus, I admire Kiritsugu. If I can become like Kiritsugu and beat him for someone like on that red day, that will be... I'm thinking needlessly. I feel the iron rod in my backbone slid into place. If I lose control of my breathing now, it will be a fatal mistake. The artificial magic circuit will eat away my body and destroy it. If that happens, I'll die. I will be only an amateur failing such an elementary step. I grind my teeth and resumed the connection. After a battle like walking on needles, the iron rod finally arrives deep within me and fuses with my body. This process took me about an hour. After that much time, I'm finally able to make one artificial circuit. One circuit that produces the magical energy. After that, it becomes a process of naturally flowing magical energy. Emi is no magus. He's only a magic user who can create magical energy within his body and channel it into objects. So there's only one magic possible, which is strengthening objects. It is a magic of strengthening that reinforces the object's abilities by understanding the object's structure and channeling magical energy into it. Before me is a metal pipe. I will channel magical energy into it, performing the simplest magic and reinforce its durability. Basically, channeling your magical energy into something other than yourself is like pouring poison into that object. It is just as the blood of Emi is not the blood of the metal pipe. Pumping different blood only accelerates its breakdown, it certainly wouldn't strengthen. To prevent that and to turn the poison into a tonic, one must completely understand the structure of the target and channel the magical energy into small open spaces. Okay, I kind of like that magic structure that is just, it's not as easy as just channeling magical energy into it. You actually have to do it in a way that doesn't just destroy the object in question. I kind of like that. It must be easy for skilled magus, but for me, who cannot even create sufficient magical energy, it is as hard as hitting a target hundreds of meters away. The usual target in archery is 28 meters away. How much harder is it at many times that distance goes without saying. The heat in my body quickly escapes. The burning pill in my backbone disappears and the lungs stretch to the limit demand the air. I arch my back to hold off the days almost making me pass out. There's no change in the metal pipe. It seems that the magical energy I poured into it has evaporated into the air. The thing I'm attempting is like adding something to an already completed work of art. Adding to a complete object risk making it less perfect. Adding unnecessary things will actually decrease the value. That is why the magic of strengthening is simple yet difficult, and only a few magi use it willingly. It's not like I use it willingly either, but it can't be helped as this is the only thing I'm good at. It would be much easier if I could just form something out of clay and use it instead, but a substitute in appearance doesn't have the internal structure to match. The junk around here is a good example. When I fail with strengthening magic, I make some substitute object to practice and to calm down, but they all end up with nothing inside. I can visualize something's structure easily, so I can make the outside look like the original, but it's empty inside, and of course, it doesn't do anything. I wipe the sweat off my brow. Now that I think about it, I realize my whole body is sweating like I've been drenched with a bucket of water. But I'm lucky it just ended like this. That was really bad. If I had taken a second longer to recover myself, I would probably have destroyed most of my body. It's not even that easy. But it's true that you won't improve your magic if you're scared of death. As long as you study magic, death is always right beside you. Even a simple magic repeated every day can call off with a simple mistake, taking the caster's life. Kirisugu said so sadly. Maybe he meant that he didn't want me to take such a step. Kirisugu said that to me when I told him I wanted to be just like him. I still don't know what he meant. But Emi Yashiro has to become a superhero who goes around saving people, just like Emiya Kirisugu.
その割にこんな処方がうまくいかないんだもんな。なんでいざって時に雑念が入るんだ。バカ。
It's not enough to understand the structure of an object with mere vision. A skilled magus only detects what's important and channels magical energy without waste. My dream is to become a superhero. I remember what Fujine said during dinner. I didn't think it's embarrassing nor impossible. It's already determined. Emiya Shiri will succeed Emiya Kirisugu. That's why, even though I'm inexperienced, I've done everything I can. I don't know what kind of person a superhero should be, so I can only approach it by helping others within the limits of my abilities. I've aimed straight for that goal for the past 5 years, but when things just go wrong like this, I do have doubts.
点でわからないよ、親父。一体さ、何をすれば正義の味方になれるんだ？
That's easy. Just find All Might and eat his hair. I look up at the sky through the window. It's not like I can just randomly go do deeds. I think being a superhero is different from just helping others. I know that, but the question is, how can I become one? The difference between the two is the thing I failed to understand over the past 5 years. But another morning with the Emiya household. Oh, right. You want to take over the reading?
Sure. My awakening is dark. Perhaps I just don't dream much, but unless something really special happens, I always seem to have the same dream. What I imagine are swords. I don't know why it is, but this is the only thing that comes into my mind. There's no meaning or reason to it.
Is that an Excalibur in the background?
Maybe. It may just be one of the aspects making up Emiya Shiro. There are no dreams to dream. The only things I recall from sleep are things I was taught a long time ago. For example, about Magi. Even if I'm an amateur, if I'm a magus, it's only natural for me to understand the kind of world I live in. Frankly speaking, a magus is an exception who deviates from modern society. But even exceptions must band together to survive. Father told me that a group of magi is called the Magic Association. He also said that I shouldn't associate with them. The Magic Association hides magic and organizes magi. They basically keep watch to see that magi do not affect society with magic, but the strange part is that they do not prohibit misuse of magic.
Excalibur, come on, this ain't Soul Eater. Oh, no. I really hope that Excalibur doesn't appear in this thing. Ugh. Also, hey, Riot, how you doing? I can imagine you've been lurking a little bit, but I appreciate you all the same.
According to Kiritsugu, the Magic Association is only interested in the concealment of magic. Even if a magus carries out his research at the expense of the lives of many ordinary people, the Magic Association will not punish him. Their priority is that magic should not become public, so they do not ban magic. So they are crazy people who think you can do anything as long as you don't get caught. Anyway, the surveillance of the Magic Association is thorough. Most magical research would cost the lives of ordinary people, and as a result, the existence of magic would become public. So the association does not allow research that would harm society. So magi stay at home and research quietly, while the normal world carries on unmolested. Hence, magi only try to hide themselves to escape the association. So perhaps I just don't know it, and a magus lives in this town. I hear Fuyuki City is a spiritually excellent area. Such an area always has a distinguished magus with a history. They are called the second owner and elite, and the association entrusts the area to them. Magi who would live in an area must visit them and obtain their permission to construct a workshop. Looking at it like that, we're thieves leaving here without permission of the landlord.
Ah, damn.
Father was an outlaw who cut his ties with the association and moved here without the consent of the administrator of Fuyuki. The owner doesn't know that Emiya Kiritsugu was a magus, and Kiritsugu didn't know who the owner was. With reasoning like that, I think our position is ambiguous. Father, the real magus, has passed away. And I, his son and pupil, don't know the magic association and have not the skill to be a magus. From the association point of view, they would want to catch an amateur like me doing things, but I've seen no movement yet. No, I've heard that Japan is relatively hidden from the eyes of the association, so I think I've just not been found out. But that doesn't mean I can let my guard down. People say the eyes of the association are everywhere, and on top of that, if you commit a crime with magic, the heretic hunters of the church will come after you. That just means that whatever you use magic for, lack of care will create enemies. I, Emiyashiro, just have to study independently, taking that into account.
Ah, blinding light.
I wake up to see the sun shining through the window.
What? It looks like it's night.
It's just dawn. Sun may have just risen and it's still a bit dark outside. See?
God damn, I'm really starting to hate this trend when I'm saying something that the game just fucking answers it within the next sentence.
Cause it's well written.
さすがに朝は辛いな。
I get up trying not to be defeated by the morning chill and quickly fold up my futon. It's 5:30. One of my strengths is waking up at this time no matter how late I go to sleep. I do sometimes make mistakes and wake up late like yesterday, but I usually wake up early.
それじゃ朝飯と。
Since I let Sakura do all the work yesterday, I have to return the favor this morning. I should finish preparing before Sakura arrives.
And then suddenly she's there. She's been there since 4 a.m.
I cook rice and make some miso soup. It was radish and carrot yesterday, so I'll make onion and potato miso soup today. Also make the usual broth egg and broth boil, and I'm done. Wait, I lost the thing. There it is. I cut and salt the sari and stop just before cooking it.
よし、こんなんでいいか。
It's almost 6 o'clock. I finished earlier than expected, so I have some extra time. So what should I do?
Oh, I thought that he would.
You would have a choice if you had correct points, but you don't. The morning exercises are my daily routine. The Emiya household has a splendid dojo.
Wait, what points?
Every decision gives you points that dictate how you are led through a visual novel. That's how visual novels function.
Oh.
It was built for pleasure when the house was built, so there's no particular purpose to it.
ま、藤姉が好き勝手使ってるけどな。
I hear that this place was Fujine's playground even before I came here. But I became Kiritsugu's student and started using the place a lot, so Fujine hated me back then.
さて。
There's only one thing to do now that I'm here. Even a magus cannot neglect to train their body. One of the requirements for a magus is to have excellent physical abilities. While Kiritsugu was alive, we had many matches here. Well, it was pretty much him beating on me, so I didn't learn anything about how to win in a fight.
Kind of like how it's not really a match every time I play with my little brother.
But I think I learned the difference between a fight and a battle. In other words, I was taught the difference between killing your opponent and beating your opponent. Knowledge and experience are different. Unless I know in advance, it's hard to tell whether I'm involved in a fight or in a murder. It's a simple story. As long as you learn magic, you might destroy yourself, and times will come when you have to fight. For a magi, a fight means killing each other. So I think that Kiritsugu wanted to teach me was to prepare my mind for the prospect of death. But it's been a while since my teacher passed away. On my own, all I can do are simple exercises. Things like push-ups, sit-ups, and stretching, not too different from the morning practices I did in the archery club.
Eh, Bruce Lee said that he fears a man who has trained the same kick 100 times.
The only difference is if I'm training lightly or heavily.
Oh.
おはようございます先輩。今朝はもう済んでしまいましたか？
ねえ、朝食の支度なら済んでる。あとは食器の支度と魚に火を通すだけ。
あ、それならお手伝いします。食器の支度は任せてください。
Sakura is cheerful, and behind that admirable junior.
あ、この匂いはシローの卵焼きね。そっか、今朝はシローの朝ごはんなんだ。
Okay, this I'm not used to. What the hell? She's actually a little bit further in the background. And here I thought all visual novels was the only having people side by side.
No. Fujine moves slowly to the table.
まあ、あれは放っておいて。
First, I have to cook the fish I've prepared.
さくら、皿は真ん中のやつ使ってくれ。その方がうまく見えるから。
この表面がブツブツのですか？
そう、それ。焼き物は皿にも気を配らないと手抜かりになるからな。で、大根はもう吸ってあるから。
Sakura takes out the dish from the back. I think I saw a faint bruise on her wrist when she leaned forward.
さくら、ちょっと待った。
はい。何ですか先輩？
その手首のあざ、なんだ？
She looks away awkwardly, and that tells me who caused that bruise.
またシンジか。あいつ、妹に手をあげるなんて何考えてやがる。
I want to reiterate that my plan of throwing him into the trash can still be a reality.
違います先輩。その、俺は転んでぶつけちゃったんです。ほら、私鈍いでしょ？だからよく転んで怪我ばっかりしてるんです。
バカ、転んだぐらいでそんなあざがつくか。信じたやつ、どうやらまだ殴られ足りないみたいだな。
ダメです先輩。これ本当に兄さんは関係ないんです。私が一人で怪我をしただけなんですから、先輩に怒ってもらう資格なんてありません。
Sakura, I'm gonna need you to play along so I have a reason to go over and beat that twat up.
Sakura falls silent. Sakura looks calm, but she is pretty obstinate. It's useless to say anything to her now.
わかった。さくらがそう言うんならそういうことにしておく。
はい。ごめんなさい、先輩。
だからどうしてそこでさくらが謝るんだ。悪いのはシンジだろ
At the mention of Shinji's name, Sakura looks away awkwardly. In other words, he is the cause of that bruise. Mato Shinji has a bad habit of being hard on his sister, Sakura. I first noticed it about a year ago. Sakura was injured sometimes, and she just evaded my questions when I asked about it. When I asked Shinji about it, of all things, he said he was the one who hit Sakura. When I asked him why he hit her, he said he just hit her because he felt like it. After that, I got pissed and did to Shinji what he did to Sakura. Since then, we've been estranged. I still don't regret punching him,
Yeah!
but I think it's my fault that Sakura is being treated worse.
Damn!
先輩、兄さんとは仲直りしてくれましたか？
もうしたよ。別に初めから喧嘩なんてしてないから仲直りも何もないけどな。
先輩にとってはそうでしょうけど、兄さんにとっては喧嘩をしたことになるんです。だから気をつけてください。
Well, time to bring out the taser.
Sakura says strange things sometimes.
気をつけろって信じが？
はい、兄さん、先輩を目の敵にしてるって聞きました。先輩が退部するようになったのも兄さんのせいだって。
それは違う。部活を辞めたのは信じとは関係ない。いや、そりゃ多少はあったかもしれないけど、そんなのはさくらが気に病むことじゃないぞ。
I point at my right shoulder. There's a scar there. It happened a year and a half ago. A shipment collapsed on me during work and I hurt my right shoulder. I got out with just a broken bone, but the shipment was a hazardous one and I got a burn on my skin. After that accident, I quit the archery club. My school archery club emphasizes formalities as they let us shoot formally, even as students. The men expose their right shoulder when they shoot. Shinji commented that it might be indecent for someone shooting formally to have a scar on their shoulder. Since I was getting busy with work, I quit the archery club right then.
But why would that be indecent?
It looks gross.
Man, fuck this guy.
先
I
輩、
mean, it's kind of not even his fault. It's just the general
本当にも
sentiment.
う弓は引かないんですか？藤村先生も怪我なんて支障はないって言ってるのに。
何を平和な。藤姉は全身骨折しようが支障ないっていうやつだぞ。
先輩、私、真面目な話をしているんです。
I should answer seriously too, but I can't give her the answer she wants.
Oh, his answer. Yeah, I quit it because I want to have more time studying magic.
当分は部活をしている余裕はないよ。弓は好きだけど、優先するべきことじゃないし、しばらくは間を取ろうと思う。
しばらくって、どのくらいですか？
気が向いた頃かな。まあ、さくらが卒業するぐらいまでにはなんとか。その時はよろしくな、さくら。
I pat Sakura's shoulder.
はい、私、その時をお待ちしています。
And she nods so powerfully that it seems she might drop the plates she's holding.
Had she been holding the place this entire time? Well, back to school we go.
It's almost 7:30. Sakura and Fujine have already left for their morning club practice. I went to school early yesterday because Issei wanted me to, but I leave my house at the usual time today.
Oh, so would we actually have left early here if we didn't stay and help after school?
No. I run into an unusual scene when I reach the intersection. Several police cars are parked outside the house. Something must have happened, as it's noisy and lots of people are surrounding the area. I'm curious, but I cannot tell what's going on with all the people surrounding it. I have no time, so I should prioritize school.
Good kid.
I've reached school 10 minutes before the bell. I entered the main gate as usual.
や、おはようエミヤ。
Ah, shit.
I bump into a familiar female student.
なんだ、まだ着替えてないのか、三釣。もうすぐホームルームだぞ。俺に挨拶なんかしてる場合じゃないだろ
いや、ごもっとも。相変わらず釣れない野郎だね、エミヤは。
She laughs as if something is really funny. Mitsuzuri Ayako. She was my classmate in first year, and she's now the captain of archery club. She's very insightful, and everyone expected her to become captain since the first year. Well, in other words, her mental age is older than her real age, so she's been the older sister type everyone counts on since she was a first year. Though she gets mad when people say that. According to her, she's not that old.
I mean, technically she isn't.
ああ、今あんた、よからぬ感想を漏らさなかったかもし。
そんなものは漏らさない。あくまで客観的な事実を連想しただけだ。それで気を悪くするのは三釣の勝手だが。
お、言うじゃん。いいね。正直に答えるくせに何をどう考えてたかは口にしないんだもの。エミヤ、シンジと違って隙がないな。
シンジ？なんでそこにシンジが出てくるんだ？
なんでも何も、あんたとシンジって友人じゃない。
Why does everyone keep saying that?
シンジの男友達ってあんただけでしょ。それにお忘れでしょうが、私これでも弓道部の首相なの。うちの問題児と辞めちまった問題児をくっつけるのは自然な流れだと思わない？
まあ確かに自然だ。弓道部ってのは関係ないけど、俺とあいつは腐れ縁だからな。
あ、カチンときた。あんたね、弓道部の話になると急に冷たくなるでしょ。いいご身分よね。シンジをほっぽっといて自分はさっさと退場しちゃうんだから。後に残された私とかさくらの気持ちとか少しは考えてくれてもいいんじゃない？
シンジのやつまたなんかやったのか？
あいつが何もやらない日なんてないけど、ま、それにしても昨日のはちょっとやりすぎか。
Wasn't just the day where we as Tusaka Rin talked to Shinji and burned him?
Yeah.
1年の男子が1人辞めたぐらいだから。
Mitsuzuri sighs seriously. It's rare for her to make a face like this, but even more than that, I can't ignore what she just said.
なんだよそれ。部員が辞めたってなんで？
シンジのやつが八つ当たりしたのよ。わざわざ女子を集めてね、夢を持ったばかりの子にシャをさせて的中するまで笑い物にしたとか。
はあ？お前そんな馬鹿げたことを見過ごしてたってのか？
見過ごすか。けどさ、首相ってのはいろいろと忙しいんだ。いつも道場にいるわけじゃないってエミヤだって知ってるでしょ。
それはそうだが、にしても何考えてんだシンジのやつ。必要以上に厳しく教えることはあっても素人を見せ物にするようなやつじゃないだろう。
呆れた。エミヤっては本当にあれだ。
あれってなんだ？今お前よからぬ感想を漏らさなかったか？
あら、私はあくまで客観的な事実を連想しただけさ。それで気を悪くするのはエミヤの勝手だね。
What the? Don't throw my own words against me.
ついさっき聞いたような返答をしやがって。いいよ。それよりシンジはどうしたんだよ。なんだってそんな真似をしたんだ。
聞いた話じゃ遠坂にこっぴどく振られたとかなんとか。
遠坂ってあの遠坂か？
うちの学校にあれ以外の遠坂なんていないでしょ。2年 A 組の優等生ミスパーフェクトこと遠坂凛よ。
いや、そんなあだ名は初めて聞いたけど。
It's the first time I've heard the nickname, but I would probably agree with it. With Tosaka involved, I can understand even Shinji getting turned down, and most of all, if it was Tosaka, I can see her refusing him mercilessly.
ともかくシンジのやつは昨日からずっとその調子。おかげで私もこんな時間まで道場で目を光らせてたって。
シンジのやつ変にこらえが効かない時があるからな。三綴大変だろうけど頑張ってくれ。
はいはい。けどね、シンジって懲りないでしょ。また遠坂に声をかけて振られた日には今度こそ遠坂本人に何かしそうでさ。
いや、いくら信じても振られた相手には近寄らないだろう。あいつそのあたりはちゃんとしてるぞ。
けど相手が近寄ってくるんだからしょうがないじゃない。遠坂さ、なんか知らないけどうちの道場をよく見学に来るのよ。エミヤは辞めちゃったから知らないだろうけどね。
First I've heard of it. Tosaka Rin doesn't do any club activities for personal reasons. I thought she went straight home since she even turned down the recommendation to join the student council.
たまにはそれもいいか。あいつもお高く泊まってるし、一度ぐらいは痛い目に遭うのもいいかもね。
Mitsuzuri says some dangerous things. Come to think of it, I heard that Tosaka has many enemies. Could Mitsuzuri be one of them?
おい、三綴いくらなんでもそれは。
あ、そろそろ時間だ。じゃあね、エミヤ。今度私の弓の調子見に来てよ。
Mitsuzuri hurries off.
相変わらずだな、あいつ。
But I like that part of her. Feeling calmer now, I head for the classroom. It's lunchtime.
Hooray!
Our school has splendid cafeteria and most students eat there. But there are some old-fashioned students who bring their own lunches. Two of them happen to be me and the student council president in front of me.
エミヤ、その唐揚げを一つくれないか。俺の弁当には圧倒的に肉分が不足している。
いいけど、なんだってお前の弁当ってそう質素なんだ、一世。いくら寺だからって酒も肉も取らないなんて教えがあるわけでもないだろ
う。何を時代錯誤なことを。これは単に親父殿の趣味だ。小坊主に食わす贅沢はない。悔しいのなら己で何とかせよなどという。いっそ今からでも天祖になるか。俺も考えどころだ。
Oh gee, the student council president wants to go and join the circus. That's something.
あのじいさんなら確かに。
Issei's father is the priest of the Ryudo temple, and a bald guy who's old friends with the old man at Fujine's place. You can't expect a normal personality when he's friends with a guy like that.
それは。じゃあ、いつか恩返しを期待して一つ。
I hand him my lunch box.
ありがたく。これも托発の修行なり。
Issei bows deeply. Bows. How can I put this? I never know what to say when things like this around me. He's a son of the priest.
ああ、そういえばエミヤ。朝方2丁目の方で騒ぎがあったのを知っているか。ちょうどエミヤと別れるあたりの交差点だが。
交差点？
The intersection this morning. He must mean that clobber with the police cars.
なんでもな、殺人があったそうだ。詳細は知らないが、一家4人中助かったのは子供だけらしい。両親と姉は刺殺されたというが、その凶器が包丁やナイフではなく、長物だというのが普通じゃない。
Uh-oh. I think Lancer is on a killing spree.
A long weapon? He must mean something like a sword. It was a murder, so that must mean the sister and the parents were killed. I picture it. Someone barging in during the night, unjust violence, a one-sided pillage like an accident. Slashed parents, the sister killed without even knowing what's going on, to the side, the child covered in their blood.
What the? We're not.
それ、犯人は捕まったのか？
We're not trying to. Are they trying to create the beginning of Dexter here?
Pretty sure this is older than Dexter.
You
know what? Fair enough.
こちらでは辻切りめいた殺人事件だ。 学校の門限が早まるのも当然。どうしたエミヤ？喉に飯でも詰まったか？
別に。何もないけど。
いや、エミヤが厳しい顔をしていたのでな。少し驚いた。すまん。食事時の話ではなかったな。
Issei tries to soften the air apologetically. I was fine with this topic, but was I really making such a nasty face? And then there is a quiet knock at the door.
失礼。竜道はいるか？
ああ、はい。何ですか、先生。
Issei addresses Kazuki, who just entered. It must be simple talk about the student council, as Issei seems pretty relaxed.
へえ。
That's not something you see every day. Despite his appearance, Issei is very shy. The guy who draws the line against his classmates and even his teacher is letting his guard down with Kazuki.
真面目なとこで気が合うのかも。
Kazuki Soichiryu, the teacher in charge of Class 2A, is serious and stubborn. Probably that an aspect helps him get along with Issei, who prizes order and discipline. The two continue to talk. All the while I can't get the story out of the murder out of my head.
I think I might actually end the stream here.
Fair enough.
Getting a bit tired in the head, and it would just be bad continuing streaming like this.
Fair enough. We are on our merry way. We are almost at the split of the paths, and then we can enter the good shit.
And look at that, the save system works.
Oh man.
So yeah. Anyway, I know that this book club streams might not be somewhat the most shareable thing, but even if you're lurking, I really appreciate you coming in to watch. Yeah, and have a. This is a lot of reading, so I get it. Yeah, it's also kind of like that. It's like a lot of reading. Yeah, like playing a normal game is less tiring because you're not really. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but the reading, that can like take a lot out of you. But
That's partially why I kind of wanted to take over the reading part, so it would just be a fucking listening stream, so you can what's it called? Go through the story more or less. Since
okay.
To me, it's nothing new, and I do enjoy it. I enjoy narration. It lets me practice my pronunciation and just my English in general. So,
Alright. But like I said last stream, this book club Sundays with the face day is going to be the normal thing whenever Anise here is available for it. Otherwise, it might just be a normal stream.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it, even if you were lurking. Yeah, and have a good resting day, night, evening, wherever is your time zone, and I'll see you next time. Hee ho, everybody.